Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to Infinity Broadcasting and the V8 Veterans YouTube channels for the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans Split 2 action of Season 27. It's round 8 here this evening as we go racing for 300 kilometres, 67 laps of Fuji Speedway. At the base of Mount Fuji, we'll go racing around one of the most historic Grand Prix and Super GT circuits in the world. For 300 kilometres with rain clouds on the horizon, this is bound to be absolute warfare across the evening. Hamish Munro here with you alongside Brett Fisher as always. Brett, what a pleasure it is to be here with you once again as we line up for what is the true endurance round of the season. And this season, it's a wet one. How exciting, or how much more exciting could it get? And how much better could it get as we get to go racing at Fuji one more time?
going to be good, isn't it? I reckon it could get more exciting if there was a bit of fog on the track too. What do you reckon?
Oh, quite possibly. Make us hard to see the cars, but it means the drivers can't see the other cars either. As we said, long race tonight. It is 3 rounds to go this season, including tonight. We've now included 2 drop rounds in the points. We'll be able to talk through that across the evening. And if you've never seen Fuji, well, it's the circuit that made the most sense geographically to have a wet race this season, as this is a track infamous for wet racing. The time that Max Verstappen went to do a lap around a Super GT car recently for Red Bull, it bucketed down with rain. Couldn't even pick a dry day to do their spectacle of him doing a lap in that car. Regardless, it's a track that is infamous. It's probably underrated. If you compare it to the likes of Suzuka, I feel like it's underrated. I think both tracks are as good as each other, and you could easily slot this on the modern day Formula 1 calendar and have an absolute ball of a race. And now tonight, for as long as we're racing for, we could get safety cars, we could get incidents, and it could throw a very damp spanner in the works in terms of our championship standings going into the next 2 rounds at the Nürburgring next week for the full Nordschleife, and then into Adelaide in the final round for the undroppable round of the season. You couldn't have asked for a worse 3 to the end, Brett, could you, as a driver? I mean, this is pressure upon pressure, and the champion this season is going to have to earn it if they can before the checkered flag drops at Adelaide in 2 weeks' time.
Look, I think it's good. Bring on the pressure pot. Yeah. Let's ramp it up a bit. It's been a good season so far, and it's going to be interesting to see how we close it out. Just as we look at the Mount Fuji in the background there, hope she doesn't erupt, and that could throw a new element into the old thing.
What a dynamic weather that could be if Mount Fuji would erupt for us and throw lava onto the circuit. You have to avoid the magma that is coming.
I call lava. What is it? Lava floor?
Floor is lava. Yes.
Floor is lava. Yeah.
Looking at the point standings at this stage, Gary Buckland sits with a 10-point advantage over Stephen Kokoschke after his fantastic win last week at the Circuit of the Americas. Ben Brook has finally risen up the ranks now, as we suspected he would. He's tied on points with Bruce Tannock on 834 in equal 3rd place. 5th place in the championship, Rick Viger sits on 832 points. His win out at Long Beach a few weeks ago really helped him steamroll those points up the order as well. Ron Allen, Brett Horsell, Brenton O'Brien, Roy Clark and David Duddle now sneaks his way into the top 10 of the championship as well after his podium performance last week out at Coda as well. 2 drop rounds have now been included in the point standings as well and will be included across the next few weeks. And right now, as we stated last week, realistically, Brett, it is a 5-horse race. It is Buckland, Kokoschke, Brook, Tannock and Viger. Any of those 5 could win, but one of them, or even 2 of them, could easily be knocked out tonight if they do not have the performance that they need here at Fuji to challenge for the championship across the next 2 weeks.
Well, and like you said, Hamish, the next 3 rounds are tough rounds. Last round is an undroppable round, as we all know, but the next 3 rounds are pretty tough. So is anyone going to see the pressure? Is anyone going to crack under the pressure? Or are they going to be able to manage to sort of keep their head held high and run towards the flag towards the end of this season? It's going to be interesting to see what happens, and especially with tonight's race. We did talk about the weather and everything like that, so it's going to throw a few little curveballs. So we're going to see who. We talked about the cream rising to the top, and are we going to see some of that cream rising to the top tonight?
You've got to pick the strategy right, and you've got to pick your pit stops correct as well. You've got to play the game for the weather here this evening out at Fuji Speedway. 300 Ks, as we said. I forgot to change the lap count. It's not 50 laps, it is 67 here this evening, as it was actually set wrong and originally on the calendar, so that's why that was not corrected. But Fuji will offer us up some fantastic challenges, as we said, across the evening. It's one of 5 Japanese circuits on the iRacing calendar, including the likes of Suzuka, Okayama and Tsukuba circuit as well. Actually, I said 5. I think there is only the 4. Oh no, there is Motegi as well. I forgot about Motegi. But yes, there is 5. Fuji is one of them. As we move our way on in, this is my preferred layout of
Have
Fuji
a look at all
Speedway.
those golf courses around too.
So many. So many
Wow.
golf courses. We'll see if anyone gets a hole in one tonight. But this is my preferred layout of Fuji, Brett. There is another layout with the chicane down at where turn 10, 11 and 12 is at Dunlop Corner. This is my preferred layout. I think this layout has that little bit of better flow. I don't find the chicane offers that much flow around here, but it does offer a passing opportunity. It starts in the main straight and up towards Daiichi at turn 1 and through turn 2 as well. And this is an early opportunity for passing, or even an opportunity for passing throughout the whole race, but it's an early opportunity for mistakes to be made. As the track slicks up, you've got to be careful of the pit exit line right in the middle of the road as you try and go for overtakes. It's going to get super slick through there once the rain starts to fall. So drivers will have to be careful of that, especially if they're on slick tyres. If you can make it through turn 1 and 2, you head up towards Coca-Cola corner at turn 3, the next big test. Got to be careful of the outside curb. If you catch any wheel spin on the rear wheels on the outside curb, it's going to shoot you straight to the left and into the tyre barrier before you get to 100R at turn 4 and turn 5. That first sector there, Brett, biggest passing opportunity is through turn 1. You can hang it side by side though to get it back at turn 3, but you've really got to carry the pace through 1 and try and make yourself an opportunity if you want to get it done through there.
Like any track, there's a number of nuances throughout the track, and definitely turn 1 is one of them. It's an interesting little corner. So it'll be interesting to watch that tonight as we see people battle down, especially after that long straight too.
Yeah. Now, drafting is going to be a big key here tonight. You make it through 100R, where you've got to be careful of late corner wheel spin and late corner understeer off the rear of the car. It'll want to come around on you through turn 5. You get on the brakes hard, you come in towards turn 6 at hairpin, and you get a good passing opportunity up the inside here. You've got to be careful of the sausage curbs on the right-hand side on exit through turn 7 and 8, where it can actually jump the car like a pogo stick. I've seen a car roll through here, Brett, before through turn 7 and 8, off those sausage curbs. It's very, very dangerous. But if you can carry pace through there, you run through 300R at 9 and up towards Dunlop corner at turn 10. This is where you pass the regular Grand Prix circuit of 11 and 12 for this chicane through here, up towards the heightening and dipping back down again, turn 13. It's like a roller coaster corner. You go up, and as you turn the corner, it shoots back down again. Through 14 and into Nets corner at 15, and up towards Panasonic corner at turn 16 as well. We'll end out the lap. You can see drivers going side by side through 13, 14 and 15. Normally they break away there before they get to 16 as well. But if you can get the exit off 16, you can maximise a run down the straight and get the job done at turn 1. Pit entry tonight, going to be crucial, Brett. We'll often see drivers trying to run down pit entry, and then they'll have to dart back on the race circuit at the last minute to continue their run down the straight. You've got to avoid the red and white triangle at it's the split point of the circuit to the pit lane. If you touch that, you are going to get one monumental stop hold in pit lane. Drivers are going to have to be cautious of that throughout the evening. If any of them hit it, they're going to know about it, and they're going to be the ones reaping the benefits of a penalty coming their way.
Yes, that's going to be interesting, isn't it? Oh, nice to see that there's not a bad entry and exit too. They've thought about that, and I like that.
Yes,
it's not really in that pressure of like what we had last week.
Very decent pit entry and exit. It's not treacherous whatsoever. The little chicane in pit entry can be at times if you take a little bit too much speed. Other than that, though, it's fairly tame. Cars are out there already in the warm-up session as we prepare ourselves for the race start here this evening. And as they begin their warm-up, we can have a quick look at the starting grid for tonight's race as well. And for our pole sitter here this evening, as we have a look at them, it is Tony Chapman on pole position once again. First time he was on pole was back and out at St. Petersburg earlier in the season. He gets another pole position for himself here tonight. He'll start alongside championship leader Gary Buckland in P2 on the start grid here this evening. Couldn't have asked for a better qualifying for Gary Buckland in terms of maintaining that lead of the championship. Front row start, that's going to be spectacular for him. To row 2 in behind them, we find Dave Duddle and Bruce Tannick. Duddle carrying the momentum that he's brought with him over the last few weeks, and Tannick roaring forward this season. He can challenge for the title, and if he can get himself possibly a podium or even a race win tonight, he's going to get some momentum leading into the Nürburgring next week, where ultimately that could be another one of those spanners in the works that throws somebody out of the championship. To row 3, we'll then find Todd Duggan and Andrew Galley. Great qualifying from Todd and from Andrew, up the order from their average start positions this season. That's a fantastic effort from those guys to get into the top 6. Row 4 and behind them, we'll find Nathan Fafero and Chris Blanchard together for the top 8 cars on the grid order. To row 5, in the top 10, it's Halil Cesar and Roy Clark. Clarkey having a tough couple of weeks, it must be said, Brett. Hopefully he can resurge here this evening and get himself some solid points on the board. Row 6 in behind them, and for the top 12, it'll be Craig Miller and Chad Weigert starting out of the top 12 to Row 7 in behind them, it will be Rick Feiger and Andrew Hoffman for the top 14 of Southern Cross Sim Racing Southern Cross Racing as well. Row 8 in behind them, Brett Fisher inside of the top 15 alongside surging Ben Brook this season. He'll start at a P16 here tonight. We'll see how tough you give him of a job tonight, Brett, starting alongside him for that 8th row of the grid. Row 7 in behind, row 9 in behind, sorry, Darryl Callahan and Brenton O'Brien will make up our top 18, and the top 20 for the 10th row will be Ron Allen and Brett Horsell alongside each other as well. In behind, row 11 for the top 22, Andrew Listener and Mick Clifton. Andrew has been averaging roughly a P20 race start this season, so he continues that run. And a great showing this season in qualifying has often led to some very decent race performances of a mid-pack finish on average as well. Row 12, we will find Stephen Kokoschke and Pete Baxter for the top 24. Not the qualifying that last week's race winner would have wanted. And
What's he doing down there?
He'll have work to do, Brett, to try and get his way up the order tonight. That is going to be a tough ask for Stephen Kokoschke. Row 13, Jeremy Bush, Yusuf Korfidis for the top 26. To row 14 in behind them, Scott Weston and Jamie Peters starting out of P28. To row 15 in the top 30, we'll find Derek Lovegrove and Brett Taylor. P31, the final car to set a qualifying. Oh, sorry, no, not a final time. Sorry, I do apologise. Scott McCune and Abel Verben then for the top 32. To row 17 in behind then, the final car to set a time in qualifying, James Boardman. Our race controller tonight, leading race control, Bruce McLeod. In behind James, starting out of pit lane, will be Michael Quain. Sean Vandermeulen will be giving a hand here this evening to Mr. McLeod in the race control booth as well. As warm-up is coming to an end and we set ourselves up for a race start here this evening out at Fuji, it's going to be high pressure. It's going to be high stakes for this season and for these drivers as well. We've got a heap of chats out there already. Brett was out there earlier getting the punters fired up as always. Brett Horsell joins us this evening.
Come on.
Cam77 out there too. Tony Chapman, Luke Ullman, Ron Allen in the chat with us as well this evening. Nathan Favero, Ernie Toth, Dave Duddle, Luke Ullman, Damon Fisher. Sando's with us too in the chat as well. Great to have you out there. Simon Haynes in the chat with us this evening. Rhino is in the chat with us as well. Great to have you all here. Pete Kelleher in the chat as well. Andrew Listener too. So thank you all so much for joining us for what is bound to be a wondrous race tonight. It's going to be a long one as well, as we said. 67 laps, 300 kilometres of Fuji Speedway. We've got 3 minutes for cars to get gridded up, Brett. And what sort of pressure is on the driver's shoulders right now as you prepare to grid up for 300 Ks here at Fuji? You know the rain's coming, and you know that it's on the horizon.
Yeah.
What's the pressure like inside the driver's seat?
I don't know about everybody else, but I always get a touch of the nerves before we start and lots of stuff. The other thing I was just thinking about before too is that, I can't remember if it was in qualifying or practice, but there was 30 plus drivers over 1 second. That is massive. The split is getting tighter and tighter. But yeah, I mean, it's always an apprehension, foggy. We know there's a bit of rain coming, like what's a strat and all sorts of stuff. So, it's a bit of excitement. I mean, I always think, hopefully I'll make through turn one okay, and then let's get through the first lap, and then let's get our heads down and, let's start to get business, once you survive those first couple of laps.
We'll see how well the drivers can survive those laps here at the start of this race this evening. There's the weather for you, 23 degrees. Track temp at the moment, 19 degrees centigrade. 99% chance of precipitation here this evening. So it states that we will get rain at some stage. And right now the radar is looking like it could come within the first 20 laps, but the wind is known to change here at Fuji. That could adjust when the rain comes. It could come earlier, it could come later. Only time will tell. And drivers, if they've got their strategies correct, should allow themselves to almost be a liquid strategy, Brett. You're able to mold it and adjust it as best as you possibly can. The one marker that drivers have to aim for tonight is lap 30 to 31. That is the critical lap for this race to get your car home on a full tank of fuel. As long as you do a pit stop before then, and then all of a sudden the rain comes, you should be fine and dandy. Safety cars will have a part to play as well. You'll be able to save a little bit of fuel under the safety car, depending how many we do get here at Fuji. Didn't see any last week at Circuit of the Americas, and this is a very similar circuit to that one, so we could be in for a similar state, but who knows how heavy,
what are we up for,
and how tough the rain is going to be. Chapman on pole, Buckland alongside him. Who is going to take advantage of Fuji Speedway and the weather to come. Can they maximise off the race start as the fog has come in high and heavy? On top of the hour, 67 laps on the clock, and we're underway. It's a horrid start from Chapman off of pole. Great start for Buckland and for Duddle and Tannock, who've now got themselves up on the podium as we enter turn one for the very first time. Can drivers keep themselves cool, calm, collected for the first run through here? We see Horsell and Clifton getting into it together as well. Bush runs it wide further back, as did Lovegrove. Everyone looks to have come away unscathed at this stage, but Buckland in the race lead nice and early, and Tannock pressuring the championship leader as they run through 100R for the first time.
Tony Chapman, he just doesn't like getting off the starting line, does he? He's, looks like Tannock going for a little bit of a sneaking look on the inside there. He doesn't get it completed. He's going to be offline for this next section. Gary just taking a little bit of control there. A few guys side by side further back in the pack trying to sort themselves out. But all in all, reasonably clean start.
Well,
very good so far in these conditions.
There's been a few big gainers early in this race. To see Hoffy trying to battle side by side as well. Brett Horsell has just been absolutely... Mick Clifton was just clobbered by Stephen Kokoschki. Clifton there, you saw the car was off the road, and the front end of Kokoschki's car has got massive damage on it. This thing's been in the wall. And one of the championship contenders is going to have to take a non-CPS stop to keep this car running. As Tannock now takes the race lead, as Buckland drops back out of the top four. Unbelievable. Tannock in the lead. Buckland drops. Wowee. Unbelievable start. Already some big gainers thus far. As we said, Clark's up 4 into the top 6. He wants a top 5 spot at the moment, as he battles away at the commencement here of lap 2. Also, who's gone up 4, Viger up 4, Callahan up 4, Allen up 4, Scott Weston up 7, McCune up 8, Verben up 5, but the biggest gainer thus far, who took advantage of the race start, James Boardman is up 12 positions into P21 after starting on the back of the final row of the grid. Unbelievable. So some big gainers early. They've taken advantage. We'll see if the strategy can get them home here tonight. But Bruce Tannock into the race lead. What a start for him, Brett, and what a position. Yeah,
but I wonder what happened to Buckland. Like, it'd be nice to know what happened to Buckland there.
I see no off track, so I'm going to assume that Tannock has
whether he had a help out there inside,
and then the other 3 have followed him. Is what I can assume has happened in the battle for the lead. But you see Buckland running wide down there through Dunlop. He's struggling for that corner. He may have just given an opportunity to Tannock.
Look at Galley. Galley on the back of Duggan there. Duggan and Galley have come up 2 positions from the start, so they've had a cracking start so far. Maybe wrap with that.
You can see
There's not much of a gap. Still all under a second. I mean, you have a look at that. Have a look at that tree all the way up to. It did a bit of an Allen Seal lace bugs then.
It's like iridescent Christmas lights, isn't it?
Yeah, all Brook and West
off the road. There he is. There, spun round just before the final corner. I think Horsell has now dropped a spot too. So some early droppers here. There's no rain droplets on the road just yet. So this is maybe
just
cold
tyres
or cars dropping. Duddle with the fastest lap of the race, 1:39.55. The last lap time by for him. As Tannock and Duddle begin to fill that gap now over Duggan and Galley as well. But a lot of drivers all getting into it. And as you said, Craig Miller, Darryl Callahan battling away. You see Favera there probably trying to help his teammate Miller get past Callahan here, as Callahan's in that podium sandwich right now in P12.
What sort of sandwich?
A podium sandwich, because there's podiums either side.
Podium sandwich. Righto. Rightio. So that Duddle is in within 0.3 of Tannock at the moment, so he's right in contact. He's starting to break away just a touch from Duggan. That's been like that for a little bit. We'll have to see whether that gap increases. Gully's still on the back of Duggan. Buckland is hanging around just that 1 second off the back of Gully, but still that whole field up to Hoffman into 16th before we get to O'Brien with a 1.3 gap off the back of Hoffman, and then still continues down to Peters at the moment. So Lovegrove in pits at the moment.
Lovegrove has come in with suspect he's changing tyres at this point. Wouldn't want to see wets on that car just yet, Brett, because ultimately there is no rain yet, and because there's been
fog.
no rain, the track is not wet. Tannock sets the fastest lap of the race, but
Todd
Duggan matches him
to
the 1000th, Brett. The exact same lap to the 1000th.
Wow. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That's pretty good.
Todd Duggan is in a rocket ship right now, or at least on that last lap he was. P3 at this stage. What a great run for Todd Duggan at this point. Hopefully it all comes together for him. You see Brenton O'Brien, he's pushed early to get up to P17, but now he's being put under pressure here from James Boardman and Brett Fisher in behind him as well. They've got nearly 2 seconds up to Andrew Hoffman in P16 at this point. This is a battle in the midway point of the field.
Well, that gap was actually down to just over a second, and it's sort of starting to blow out now to nearly 2 seconds. So I wonder whether, he's all comfortable in that car. We'll see whether that gap grows a little bit later.
As well, give an update on where our pole sitter tonight has ended up. Tony Chapman now down 6 into P7 after what can only be described as another unfortunate start for him from pole. Yeah, that's two times now he's made a mistake on pole position. Hopefully if he gets a third pole, it doesn't end the same way. But he's getting pressured now from Chad Viger in behind him, as well as Halil Cesar and Chris Blanchard. 3 drivers, arguably, very capable of winning a championship here in Split 2, one of which has won the championship before in Halil Cesar. So all 3 of them want to try and get by him, and this is another one of those podium sandwiches, because at the end of that little train is Nathan Favero right behind Blanchard at this stage. This one's a triple decker though, not a single decker.
So like a Big Mac.
No, because there'd have to be a
Viger on the inside
in the middle as Viger goes up.
Can he make this
Got
stick?
that job done.
Yeah,
great
nice
move.
and easy.
Can
Cesar on the inside of
Chapman. Can he do it? He'll have the outside at Coca-Cola. Gets the
Blanchard
job done.
behind him
Chapman
as well.
gives it to him.
Blanchard looking as well.
And he's been caught out.
Nearly had the nose cut off. Now he's in the sandwich as well.
Yeah. Now we've got a Big Mac scenario here, Brett. We've got a podium, then a non-podium, then a podium, then a non-podium, then a podium as Craig Miller runs wide at the end of 100R. He's got Rick Viger in behind him at this stage, but he continues to push on. As Blanchard needs to get back into the rhythm for the 669 WKMP Motorsports entry. Champo agreeing though, fight to live another day. So it's a great sound strategy for 300k race tonight. It's not worth battling tooth and nail for a position that is only on lap 5 of a race. Playing the smart long game here tonight.
I think the other thing too is though, like you've qualified well, and you just haven't got the car off the start.
Have you got the race pace to match it as well? So
but I'm just saying is when you start like that, you sort of your confidence might be a little bit destroyed. So you've got to really just regather yourself, settle yourself down, and go right. This is a long race.
Use that first stint as almost a reset stint. Reset yourself.
Yeah.
Get yourself pre-prepared, and then push on for the second stint of the race. I think that's important now. As Duddle wants to move on the outside of Tannock at turn 1. Tannock's going to say no, thank you, and hold on to the spot. And the Kiwi should be used to driving in conditions like this. He's a drifter on the side, but he should know all about driving through fog and rain, being in his homeland of New Zealand, of course. And Tannock continues to push on now into the race lead and defending that position from Dave Duddle in behind. Great job.
Gary Buckland is back up on the back of Galley. So he's got himself organised there, because there was about over a second gap there for a short amount of time. So he's figured out what was going on. He's probably let the car tyres cool down to touch, and he's getting back on with the job.
He's done a great job thus far. You see Cesar beginning to pressure Viger now as well into the top 10, both of these drivers. Cesar is now back up 1 position from where he started in P9. He dropped a few off the race starters. Scott McCune, Brett Horsell have had it coming together. Yeah. There's McCune. Where is Horsell gone? Trying to find him. There he is there.
There he is. Oh, damage on the front left of that car. Big damage.
Oh, you'd have to wonder if there was some contact that's caused McCune to go around. We'll see what race control say about it. Very experienced race control this week, with that being headed up by Bruce McLeod. And Sean Vandermeulen
Doesn't
in
look like
the
there's-
safety car.
Doesn't look like there's any damage on that car.
Is there a little bit of... Oh, no, there is. There's a little bit of
Oh,
rear
yeah.
right damage on that car.
Yeah,
which
there
would
is too.
line
Yeah,
up
yeah,
with the
yeah.
damage on the front left of Horsell. So you'd have to assume that he may have
Yeah.
just punted the rear of Scott McCune then as well. But no, they're all doing incredibly
Look at
well.
that.
As Cesar now wants to move here on
Yeah.
Viger in towards turn 1. You see Blanchard as well wanting to get past Chapman. Here comes
got that.
Cesar. Has he got it done, or is Viger going to come back at him? They're side by side through 1 and 2.
No.
Viger pulls in behind and decides, let's push on. Let's catch Roy Clark and Buckland ahead of us. No point battling for this right now.
And Blanchard managed to take that onto Chapman as well. So he's moved up himself 1 there as well.
And it's the ebb and flow of this race. It's drivers knowing when it's time to push, when it's time to lift off, and saying, we're going to take the L now, but we'll try and get the W later. As it just runs that little bit wide down at turn 6, but Viger right back on him like a hungry cougar ready to attack its prey, and they hope to chase down Roy Clark and Gary Buckland. The run that Clark had in the first half of the season, Brett, unbelievable. Second half of the season hasn't quite gone his way. We'll be hoping for a bit of a resurgence here this evening out at Fuji, especially with the final 2 rounds coming up at the Nürburgring and Adelaide.
Up 4 at the moment, so be happy with that so far. And he's sort of just tucked right in the back underneath the wing of Gary Buckland there. So it's all sort of stayed status quo at the front there a little bit. Todd Duggan just dropping back to about 2.3 behind Duddle at the moment. But this little pack from Duggan to Gally, Buckland, Clark, and then it's 2 seconds back to Cesar. So, but if you look at that tree, there's a lot of battling going on up and down that field. Got a huge amount of gaps there.
See the gap behind Todd Duggan to Andrew Galley. Great start for both of these drivers. Starting up 2 positions. Galley to stick here through turn 2.
He's got the car there. He's going to be on the offside now.
We're not quite
Swings
able to
it
go
back.
for it at Coca-Cola. It's a good defence from Duggan to maintain that position. Nice little throwback base for that Nova Sim Sports car. Little throwback to the mid-2000s for performance racing is this base. So you can't even argue.
Galley still looks like he wants it.
He's doing a
He's
great
still,
job.
he's still really chasing, putting pressure on. Buckland just sort of hanging back there at the moment, taking an alternative line.
Right on board with him in the
So
driver's
he's got
eye.
yeah.
And let's see. You see how dark it is out there as well. Like the cameras on the outside of the car don't quite do it justice for how truly dark the circuit is and how dark the sky is. That's how you know the rain is going to be coming. It's by how sheer darkness there is.
Ron Allen and Favero dropping there for a second.
I think that's because there's a bit of battling happening back
there's
here.
a bit of battling
Boardman's
happening,
finally gotten past O'Brien, and he's now putting the pressure on Allen here. Then there's Hoffman and Favero who are battling away.
Oh, he runs
on the
wide
outside.
there.
Watch the sausage
But he's
curbs. He made it stick. Can he get the job
he did
done?
make
He
it
can.
stick.
Great move for Boardman. That's 17 positions gained now in this race. Unbelievable run in
On a
the
mission.
first stint here. He's on a mission for sure. Allen's not going to give it up yet, though. They're still side by side. Let's watch it from the best seat in the house, Brett. Off the back of Andrew Hoffman's Mustang.
Interesting to see who's going to break first.
You can see there, Allen's got a
Both
bit
going
deeper.
deep, both going deep.
Oh.
But can he
Allen
hold it
runs
in?
it
See
too
Boardman,
deep.
yeah.
The shallow run for Boardman helped him get the power down.
Someone
He's
off the
made
road.
move.
Chad Viger off in the background there as well.
That was Chad Viger. Unbelievable. Chad Viger, who was battling away with
Blanchard
Hammer,
and Miller.
Blanchard as well. This is all happening back here. I have to wonder if they came together at turn 1. As now you see Miller on the outside line, wanting to go around the outside of both of them. Can't quite get the power down on Viger, but he got it done on Blanchard. Up through 300R.
This has banked up a lot of cars back from 9th through to about 20, about 20. So about 11 cars there, all now banked up here in this little pack.
Craig Miller now shoots the half up the inside. Gets the job
good
done
little
on
pass,
Chad. That's a good pass. We saw him have a great run at Bathurst in round 1 this season. looks to be trying to drive a very similar manner here tonight out at Fuji. He's having a great run thus far. We're not even a sixth of the way through this race, by the way. We're only on lap 9. Not even to lap 10. And been great racing.
If Fuji's going to be like this, I'll tell you what, there's going to be some great battling going on throughout this race. If this is the a bit of a taste of what we've got coming up.
See that Buckland continues this battle as well with Roy Clark, Andrew Galley. You see Cesar on the back of them now. And there's Duggan leading this charge. Is he becoming a bit of a cork in the bottle, though, for those cars? They'll be hoping to try and sink their way through and chase down Dave Duddle and Tannick. The longer they're stuck behind him, though, the worse it's going to get, because Tannick and Duddle have managed to gain nearly 4 seconds over this pack of cars in the first run of this race. First 10 laps, they've gained 3.5 seconds over Todd Duggan. That's an incredible feat and an incredible gain to this point over P3 in the race as Galley continues to put the pressure on him. Up through 300R now. Can he make it happen into Dunlop? No, has to back out of him. But watch from Buckland on the inside. Sends it through there at Dunlop. Gets the job done. Great move for Buckland, who moves it into the top 4. 2 spots down from where he started this race.
Weston just getting past Listener there for a second. Looks like he's managed to make that stick. Oh, Weston got past Listener, sorry. My bad. Yep. But look at this. I mean, look how many cars we've got in this pedal back now. It was, all the way from 10th to 27th. 17 cars, if I can count.
Well, there's only the biggest gap separating them is a second, and that's yourself, Brett, back to back to Scott Weston. I mean, that's the only significant gap in this whole train. It's all being led by Darryl Callahan and Craig Miller as they fight for a great
Buckland
position.
on
the
Duggan.
Top 10 is Buckland trying to go around the outside of Duggan. Can't quite get there. Watch for Andrew Galley to take advantage as Chad Weiger's now into pit lane.
Buckland not done with it yet, though. Galley's on the outside.
A
little bit of a hip and shoulder. Buckland's around. No,
that was close.
I saw the car slide.
Close. I think that was just the change of direction from the camera angle. Honestly,
it must have been.
Roy Clark, though, is all over him here. Wow. Put the pressure on him. Watch for Cesar as well to try and sneak through. A lot of pressure being applied for Gary Buckland to get past Andrew Galley once more. He's already made it happen once in this race. Can he do it again? It was only up here at turn 10 that it happened. Unbelievable.
He's too far away this time. I just wonder whether Galley had a lot. I mean, look, we saw Galley really champion on the back of Duggan, and I reckon Duggan might have just been holding up Galley a bit, but it's sort of just not being able to find a way past. Obviously, Buckland had that nice little sneaky run up the inside of Galley, and this has closed this little battle pack up. But we'll see whether Galley can get back onto the back of Duggan, whether he's got the pace there, and whether Buckland's going to go with him.
It's great to see this battle continuing on. In behind them, that train of cars continues to fight. Craig Miller's now finally gotten past Darryl Callahan for P9. Rick Weiger looks to get involved in this battle furthermore as well, with Blanchard in behind him after previously making contact with his brother as it's a drag race towards turn 1. Yep, Listener, Corfeidus, who's going to come out on top in a 1 here. Lap 12 of 67. And you see Listener gets that job done. Weston and Verben battling side by side as well. So that battle's heating up more and more too. The mid-pack's been spectacular tonight. Look who's up 5. Jamie Peters into P23. He's been quietly making moves here, Brett. Nearly up into the top 20 and only a few positions away from it.
Says they're getting past Clark. And Andrew Galley's now, like we talked about before, he has closed that gap back up onto Duggan a little bit. No, he hasn't. It's probably just spread out a little bit, actually. But let's see whether we can get close. You're 0.7 away now. Buckland's about 0.7. So this little pack is just concertinaed out a little bit.
Sort of simmering now, Brett, isn't it? A little bit of a rolling simmer for these drivers, trying to settle back into it. Maybe burning the tyres off a little bit as well. This is a tyre killer track because of the undulation changes and the amount of medium and high-speed corners here, it will kill the tyres across the stint. So you've got to be cautious of when you do push them or when you try and keep them tame. We can see how far ahead Tanak and Duddle have gotten to, nearly 4.8, nearly 5 seconds ahead of Todd Duggan. You see him in the fog in the background. They're just sitting nice and pretty, working together. Duddle's not putting any pressure on Tanak right now. He's happy just to sit with him at this point and follow him along. This is not really where the action is at this stage. The action is really coming from these long trains of cars. So this battle pack of Miller all the way down, even as far as like Scott McCune and a lap down Stephen Kokoschke. That's how long this train is. Yeah. Yes, there's a few big gaps like Taylor to Quain, but the main train of Taylor all the way up to Miller is unbelievable that it is this long. But these guys are doing incredibly well.
It just goes to show you that, you know, in practice and qualifying how close those times were, and it's just proving itself. You know, if someone makes a mistake, obviously they're going to drop that little bit. But all those gaps are very, very close. Bush getting past Clifton and Taylor.
So as well, Ron Allen just trying to get up to Brett O'Brien now as well. And ahead of Brett Fisher in P18. Andrew Galley has now got Buckland back on his heels, and they've caught back up to Todd Duggan in P3. So they return to each other
it's
once
definitely
more.
Closed. Yeah, it's definitely closed again, isn't it? So, I mean, yeah, Duggan, nothing against Duggan, but Duggan's just probably holding them up just a touch. I mean, he's every right to be there, of course, but you know, Galley and Buckland would like to probably, if they could, get past him, because they're losing contact with the two front runners at the moment. Another one I just want to mention at the moment, having a good little run at the moment, is Craig Miller, up 2 spots in P9, and Daryl Callahan, if I can get my words right, up 7 spots in 10. So they'd be both happy with their run so far.
You see Rick Feiger beginning to put some pressure now onto Callahan once more. Tanak has now managed to build his gap over Dave Duddle, by the way, to around about a second. So he started to put the jets on the Mag and Turbo Camaro. And that gap's now just starting to build over Duddle. Maybe a little bit of fuel save coming from the Mustang, maybe a bit of tyre saving as well. He's got plenty of gap to do it over Todd Duggan. He could realistically take an extra 10 litres of fuel in pit lane and remain ahead of Duggan out of pit lane for the first stop. So that's the sort of advantage that these top two have gained for themselves by staying clean, working together and fighting their way forward from that pack of cars from P3 and beyond.
McCune and Quain going side by side at the moment.
Are indeed, as they continue to run this race. Quainey, of course, started from pit lane. There you see the lap traffic of Kokoschke in behind them. We gave a bit of a door there to Quainey. So he wants to get involved, but this has helped Quain. He's got the inside run onto McCune. Can't quite get there as they run it up now towards start line. Contact's made.
Kokoschke was off the track.
Oh, contact with Quain. Heartbreak for Michael Quain after the sort of run that he's had in the first 14 laps to fight that car forward from the pit lane start. It's heartbreak to see that happen at this stage.
Yeah, I did call Kokoschke off the track, but it was obviously half the car might have been off the track because he kicked up a bit of grass and things like that. So he's probably just slid the car a little bit and it's gone into the side of Quain. That's unfortunate there. On board with Ron Allen at the moment.
And yourself, Brett, just bump drafted him down the straight, wanting to get this move made in towards turn 1. You're not quite able to get there just yet as Allen wants an inside run onto Brett O'Brien. Can he get that job made? He can indeed, as can Brett Fisher. Yes, of course he can. Great move there for Brett. You can see here
actually
just the sort of pressure that you're applying, Brett, and just trying to hang with Ron as best you can and chase down that 2.3 second gap up to Boardman ahead of you as well, who's now caught the rear end of that other train with Andrew Hoffman all the way up to Craig Miller.
I was 2 positions down from where I started from at this stage. So that first couple of laps was pretty intense. There was a lot of people passing and, you know, I just got shuffled back a bit. I think I dropped back to about 19th or 20th or something like that. But it's been a great little battle getting back up. Back on with Buckland. Says it now on the ginger of Buckland. So this pack is closed up again. Clark coming into this as well as Chapman. Oh, Cesar having a bit of a look at Buckland there.
Just trying to, again, just massage that pressure all over him. Now, Buckland's a tough competitor. He can withstand pressure fairly easily. It's often what's undone him previously is personal mistakes, not from pressure. So he'll be happy just to sit there with Cesar in behind him. He knows that if Haller will try and go for it, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a fairly decent move, and he'll give him plenty of space, trying to allow him to have it as well. And knowing that they can work together to get past Andrew Galley and Todd Duggan, which arguably these guys have probably been cost a good 3 seconds out of that 5-second gap up to Dave Duddle by being trapped behind Duggan and Galley at this stage in this battle. But Galley and Duggan have every right to do so, and they're doing a great job to survive the pressure that's being applied to them.
Last time around, fastest laps for Tony Chapman, Craig Miller, Nathan Favero, and Andrew Hoffman punching out their fastest laps on lap 16 or 15, I think it might have been.
It was lap 15. We've completed 15. We're on to 16 now. So
16, yeah.
That's great to see from them. There is a little bit of separation happening here, though, as Buckland's on the inside trying to defend against Cesar. Through Dunlop, managed to maintain position. That's allowing Clark to get back up onto them now as well. As they ride up the hill, we're still waiting to see when the rain could come. We've hit lap 16 of 67. If we look at the weather, the percentage has actually dropped to 97% precipitation. So it has dropped slightly in the last 40 odd minutes. The radar has been saying that we're not going to see the first remnants of rain until at least after the quarter to hour marker in sim. That'll be 8:45 a.m. before we see rain, so it could be here in the next few minutes. As Todd
gap
Duggan,
out between, that gap between Duddle and Duggan now to 6.5 seconds now. So just slowly increasing, letting these two get away a little bit further every lap. Duddle just sitting in the box seat there. I mean, I've just been noticing most of the time there that Tanek has been punching out a little bit quicker laps than Duddle. That last lap around, he was about 1/10 faster. Duddle was. So it's a bit seesawy there at the moment. But Duddle staying in contact now. Whether this is just a nice little plan saying, okay, well, I'm just going to wind the laps down here. There's no point in battling out. We just still moving forward. We're both in a good position at this point.
Oh, Scott McCune has gone around again, but he's continuing to fight forward. So he has actually got himself going again. I wonder if it was maybe a self-spin down at turn 1. Pressure is continuing to build as Rick Feiger's now on the tail of Darryl Callahan as they fight for position up towards turn 13. There you see the podium cars of Miller and Chapman have now managed to break away from them. So that slow, steady strategy has been working well for them here at this point. But for drivers who might be planning their strategy, might be time that they have to think, Brett, do you come in early, risk taking dries in case it doesn't rain, or do you come in and take wets in the hopes that it is going to start to bucket down, but you need it to start bucketing down in the next 2 laps? I mean, ultimately, that's what has to come for these drivers as we ride with Rick Feiger down towards turn 1.
Yeah, and that puts all the gamble in, doesn't it? I mean, you go in early or trying to get an undercard or anything like that, knowing the rain might be on its way. Are you going to listen in pit lane?
Hang on.
Are you going to sit there? Here
Brett.
we go. Some sprinkles.
Yeah, I just saw it then. There's a little bit of rain at turn 1. So I just saw it on the windscreen of Viger's car. I was hoping we could see it from the exterior cameras, but there is some rain down at turn 1, and it's right about on that quarter to hour marker. So the wind has pushed the rain forward. It's also down at 100R. It's coming from the south, so it's hitting the likes of turn 1, 100R, 300R, and Dunlop first. That's going to make the backside of the circuit super difficult, as that'll be the wettest part of the track before even we get to the main straight.
It's not teeming down though, so it's not absolutely pouring down at this stage. So it'll be interesting call for see who comes in and seeing what the drivers are sort of expecting You know, whether they sort of go, oh, this is it, the rain's here, let's come in, get some wets on and let's go, get them warmed up before the track gets too wet. But then again, if you come in too early, you might heat the tyres up too much.
I think now, although Tanak, again, maybe just trying to feint, duddle into pit lane. I think the strat now is, Brett, you've kind of got to go till the end of the tank life, which is roughly lap 22 on this initial tank of fuel. There's no worth coming in now in the hopes that there is going to be rain as Andrew Galley comes in, because you actually don't know how wet it's going to be. The track's not wet enough for wet tyres yet. You've probably got a good, I would even argue almost 10 laps. At the rate the rain is falling, you've probably got about 10 laps before it's even declared wet. So
I reckon this might have been a slightly early, too early call for Gully to come out on to change sides. Callahan and Viger going side by side.
They're indeed. Damon asking, is it rain or ash from the volcano? It is rain.
Yeah, well, it could be.
It could have been ash, but
could have been
it is rain as Viger.
Side by side here, these guys
They're still running together through 100R into turn 6. Rick Viger wants the move, but Callahan on the inside. Can he maintain? Denied the move for Rick Viger, and Callahan holds on.
He's going to stick it there, though. He's still up there. This is not over yet.
No, it's not. So
and I'll tell you what.
I think the optimal game plan right now, Brett, is depending on how heavy this rain falls, it could be you go to lap 22 and then you've got the toughest choice of the race. Do you take wets and hope it's going to be wet for a long enough period for you to get to your second stop that you can then take dries? Or do you take wets, or do you take dry tyres expecting it to not be too heavy? Because there were 2 splits this week, I know at least, for split 1 and split 3, that you could run the whole race on a set of dries ultimately. So do you run that risk?
It just wasn't enough rain. Yeah. Here we go. Looks like someone else might be coming in, unless they're trying a bit of a
That there is Andrew Hoffman
looks like
coming in.
Yeah, Hoffman in.
And there's that big red triangle I spoke about. You've got to avoid it when you're on the racing surface. As you enter pit lane, you can clip it slightly. So Hoffman
the ban in pit lane as well.
It is, the track is nowhere near wet enough for rain. There's no spray coming off the cars.
That's one of the things I look for.
So the reason it is so light, and I can talk to you through the experience of me reading the radar on Thursday, the wind is moving at 9 kilometres per hour from the south. It's actually pushing the rain forward. So the main cloud of rain is not here. It's, probably a good kilometre away. But the rain has been pushed from the wind to the circuit. So that's how. That's why it's so light at the moment, because the main core of the rain is not here, but it will be here in only a few laps' time. So if you can go to 22, you push it to 22. You hope it gets a bit greasy. I think you put some wets on, and you've got to try and fill up enough that it might get you through the rain, and you can then decide, do I put dries on or do I put wets on to the end? So
it's a good calculator. It's a good calculator experience, really, isn't it? Like, there's all these questions, what's going to happen? Is it going to be dry? Is it going to be wet? Do you put the wets on? Are you going to get through, enough? There's so many questions and answers to sort of happen. You've got to try and make that right call.
And unfortunately, because this is a replay broadcast, sorry to break the kayfabe for a second, we can't show what tyre compounds drivers are on because it doesn't record it when we save the replay session. So unfortunately, we can't give you a determination on what tyres everybody is on. I know a few based on what I was recording when I was watching. You are in a pit lane, Brett. As Vero loses the spot here to Ron Allen. Is this a wet tyre stop for you, Brett, or is it a dry tyre stop?
Oh, I think it's going to be wet. Probably a little bit early, but my thought was there, we had a look at the radar, we knew it was going to come more, and I thought I'd rather sort of just take probably a little bit early, but get the tyres on, warm them up, when the rain comes, it's, because you can see there's a little bit of spray there coming around this back end of the track, and I could see that in the car, there was a bit of spray happening. I thought, it's only going to get wetter at this stage from what we could see. So I was going to run wets and see how we go. And put a fair lick of fuel in it too, I think.
Yeah, so we'll see how long some pit stops are. That'll help us determine how far drivers can go. Looking at it now and knowing what I know from Thursday, going longer is going to be your better shout because you'll have more flexibility on the stop. So drivers needed roughly 160 to 170 litres added to the car to get home. You see Tannick's now just starting to catch some lap traffic here of Abel Verben down towards turn 1. And this should be the cutoff now for most drivers. Now, there could have been some fuel saving to get an extra lap for sure. Most drivers, if they're running 3.6, can only get to this stage of the race, lap 22. So now you're going to make the determination. Do you take wets or do you take dries? The safer choice is you probably take wets if it's just started to rain and you hope there's going to be more rain. That's the more flexible decision. The gamble is dries because you're gambling that you can make it to critical lap, come in and take a set of wets. But the thing you're gambling in that instance, Brett, is you may have to take a third stop later in the race to take on some dry tyres, and that's going to be an extra 10 seconds added to your pit stop time that you do not want to be taking. Doesn't end your race completely, but it is one that's going to make it very difficult to try and overcome. So Tannick gets past the lap traffic. Halil Cesar has now gotten past Gary Buckland up into P4 as he chases down Todd Duggan. And that's been helped from Andrew Galley coming into pit lane a few laps ago. Yusuf Corfiadis is now in as well. Let's see what the race leader will do as he comes up towards the final corner here out at Fuji. We are only a third of the way through this race. The rain is here. The first stop is here as well. What is Bruce Tannick going to do? Is it going to be wets or is it going to be dries? Going on the Magan Turbo. Chevrolet Camaro for the race leader and a man that wants to finally topple this championship. He's challenged for it for the last 5 seasons that he's been here.
Duddle in as well.
So top 2 managed to come through. Duggan in. Buckland keeps going, so he saved a bit of fuel. Cesar's in. Clark's kept going. Miller in. Chapman in as well. So let's see what this looks like for those drivers in pit lane. In the hopes that they keep themselves neat and tidy. So Tannick up on the jacks.
Rain there. Definitely coming down the front straight now.
The one camera that's going to help us with this, Brett, is this camera here, because this will show us the grooves on the tyres. So can we see any grooves?
That's groovy.
Can we see any grooves on Bruce Tannick's tyres when he drops? Because that'll tell us if he's taken wets. So he's still up on the jacks. This is a longer stop for him. He drops, and I think there's grooves on those tyres, Brett. There are some grooves.
I think.
Cesar's taken them as well, so they're wets. Wet tyres, and Cesar's taken a much shorter stop, 26 seconds. So he's gambling that either this race is going to be wet to the end, or that 26 seconds of fuel is all he'll need to get to the end of the rain cycle.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
So Bruce Tannick, Halil Cesar, at this stage would be the corrected top 2 in the order, barring Gary Buckland taking a very, very short stop in this race. Darrell Callahan, by the way, took a 34-second stop. He's on a set of dry tyres right now, so he's not actually followed the plan of wets. So he feels he may be able to get to critical lap of lap 30, wait for the track to be declared wet, come in and get a set of wet tyres. He's playing the gamble that it's going to rain to the end. As Buckland in, O'Brien does the extra lap. We know he's a fuel-saving masterclass out there. Clark in, Rick Feiger in, Ron Allen, Jamie Peters, Scott Weston, Brett Taylor, Jeremy Bush, all in pit lane. So we'll see where Buckland comes out in comparison to Tannick, Cesar, and Darrell Callahan, who has got a fast-moving Mustang on a set of dries as he tries to push on towards a possible podium finish.
You can start to see everything level out a bit here shortly when we've only got a couple more, obviously, to finish their compulsory first stops. Get them all on wets, I would assume. You'd have to assume at this stage. I think a little bit of spray coming up from the back of the car. People can let us know in the chat if they did gamble on dries. That would be interesting to know.
So Tanik, Cesar, and then there's Buckland right there. But Daryl Callahan is fast moving in that Mustang, Brett. Now, I think the track at this stage suits the dries. But the reason that this is such a risk, you know the track's going to get wetter. So eventually you are going to have to come in. You're kind of locking yourself into a strategy, and it's going to be one of two. It's going to be either you're able to make it to the point that you can get wets to the end, as we mentioned, and it's going to rain to the end if it does, or you're committing yourself to a 3-stop race. That is the commitment that Daryl Callahan has just made for himself by taking these dries. But if he can make the most of it with the pace of this car in this part of the session, he can actually offset the extra 10 seconds, extra 35-second traversal time, mind you, down pit lane, if he can gain 35 seconds on this stint of dry tyres. That's what he's got to do right now as O'Brien comes in, and Tanik will look to retake the race lead.
And I did notice, because on the outlap, I noticed that, you know, just by clipping the ripple strips or any white lines, the car did not like it at all. So it's probably a safer bet, especially for myself.
I've seen as well Nathan Vera, and I believe he's correct. Ron Allen and Chad Weiger, I believe, are on dry tyres as well. So Ron, the M1 used car strategy of Ron Allen and Daryl Callahan right now is dry tyres. Yeah. And then Chad Weiger came in on lap 20. It wasn't wet enough at that point for wets. He took dries on that stop. He's trying to get back to where he was after his drive-through penalty earlier in the race. Callahan, though, wants it past Buckland, and this is how powerful the dry tyres are right now. He looks to get past him down towards turn 1, and you can see there's no real build-up of rain offline just yet, so he's able to do this move offline pretty easily at this stage. I think we're in that awkward stage, Brett, where it's wet enough that you don't overheat the tyres right now, but it's dry enough that you're faster on dries. Yeah. We're not quite at crossover, but we're nearly there. We're nearly there at crossover. We're a couple of average lap time, a couple of seconds on the average lap time short of it being at the crossover. We're running about 145s to as low as 141s for Daryl Callahan on that last lap. So we're not quite there just yet.
And isn't it interesting, though, like, too, and this is what I found with this race, that it was just that real bit of a mind game, you know, and it really had to sort of get you on the ball, thinking about what you can do, and I think that was pretty good. Todd Duggan on Miller.
Continuing their battle. Jamie Peters, I'll tell you what, he strategized well here. He's up 15 now into P13 in this race. He's gone into a set of wet tyres as well, so he'll be open to push on. As Miller on the inside, Duggan has gone off the road down at Dunlop, runs it wide, couldn't get it turned in, has to try and push on as this battle continues. As we see as well, Yusuf Corfidas on the inside of Weston at Dunlop, makes that move stick. Weston has to tuck in, there's Blanchard in behind as well. So a lot of pressure being made, but the front two have managed to gain some good time up there. But those dry tyre runners of Callahan and Allen, they are chasing them down, Brett, with a 10.5 second gap to the race leader, Bruce Tanik, right now. But when will the session be declared? When it almost looks like the rain has stopped out there right now. But I think there's more coming. I think there is more coming.
Boardman and Weiger very close there. Boardman's just dropped away. I think he was actually having
Todd Duggan.
Someone's dropped.
Todd Duggan has dropped. Todd Duggan, who had a fantastic start to this race tonight, qualified well, was running well, has just dropped out of the session. Absolute heartbreak for Nova Sim Sports and the 511 car out there. This battle continues on between Boardman and Weiger inside of the top 10, with Brook in behind them as well. One thing I want to mention, he's out there tonight, Pete Baxter. He's doing well down in P30. He's just continuing to plod along here and try and get some solid points himself as Peters rockets up the inside of Brett O'Brien. That's a great move there for Jamie. A great effort for him. The reason I mentioned Mr. Baxter is, Brett, he sent me a little piece of trivia earlier in the week. Now, there's been There has been some conversations previously from both sides of the for it and against it party of Oran Park joining the V8 Vets calendar for next season. I am in the for it category. I believe Oran Park should be brought into Vets because if we're going to run Thruxton or tracks like that, we should be running Oran Park. That's my belief. You're in a boat of you're willing to run it because you just want to be able to race. From what we've spoken about. And I know there's people out there who are against it because they think it's not going to be good. Now, he sent me some trivia on Oran Park, so as we watch these battles, I'm going to run through the trivia questions very,
Western
very
Run
quickly.
wides into the marbles. There's a lot of marbles starting to build up on track. Oh, Kokoschki.
Yeah, Kokoschki's given a bump draft to Duddle here down the straight. Ben Brooks into pit lane, by the way. So Brook in, right. Oh, it's not quite at critical lap, actually. This is a very interesting stop strategy. So, yeah, you can't pass offline if you're not on wet tyres right now. So that's the issue right now for those dry tyre runners. If you're online, you're in a rocket ship. As soon as you go offline, you're not. Blanchard wants this move down the inside, though, of Corfiades as he battles with West in there, 3 wide, nearly staggered into turn 1. Can he get this job done? If he does, be a great move. And once this settles out, then we'll get to the quick trivia questions. I promise some trivia. And we're going to get it.
That was a great move by
Blanchard.
Blanchard then.
Yep.
That was a fantastic
Tucks
move,
in
especially
between
with
them. Fantastic. Unbelievable. Right. We've settled for a second here, so we'll quickly get to the trivia portion of the evening, it seems.
Fantastic.
And I'll bring it up for myself so I can read the questions. Should we give a bit of time, Brett, to allow the chat to answer as well?
I can if you like, because I'm not really good with some stuff. Anyway, we'll see how we go.
We'll see how we go.
I got a memory like a
we want to try and get Oran Park in for next season. We're campaigning hard. So this is the Oran Park Trivia V8 Vets edition. Thank you to Peter Bax for sending this to me as well. Question 1: what unique feature made Oran Park one of the few racetracks in the world with a figure 8 style layout? This is multiple choice. There are 4 choices. Just quickly, Chad Weiger had an incident, but he's still running. That's fine. Multiple choice. A, B, C, D. Option A, tunnel under the straight. Option B, bridge crossover section. Option C, dual pit exits. Option D, reverse direction racing, Brett. Which one of those options?
Give me them again. Let me.
So tunnel under the straight. Bridge crossover section. Dual pit lanes. Reverse direction racing.
I'm thinking B, but I don't know about D. I'm going to go B.
Well, you and Andrew Listener and Luke Ullman and Nathan Favero and Roy Clark would all be correct on that one there, Brett. It is B, the bridge crossover section. As Galley
Andrew
and
Galley
Hoffman
running
are
wide.
battling away. It's Battle of the Andrews right now back here. Lap 28 of this race. Brett also
went none of the above. Bloody clown.
And that battle now peters out between those guys as well. Cesar, by the way, is under pressure now from Darryl Callahan on those dry tyres. So we'll watch as this one develops. Question 2. Which 2 Australian touring car legends are tied for most major touring car wins at Oran Park? Option A, Peter Brock and Jim Richards. Option B, Stephen Johnson and Mark Scaife. Option C, Mark Scaife and Alan Moffat. Option D, Craig Lowndes and Jamie Whincup.
I'm thinking either A or C. I'm going to go C.
Well, Brett, you would be correct. It is Mark Scaife and Alan Moffat. 2 in a row. Woo! Can you continue the run, Brett, on this one?
I'm surprising myself, actually.
We're getting some great racing, by the way. Chris Blanchard, Cherokee Bush, drag race down towards turn 1. What an unbelievable battle this is becoming. And they're all doing...
Blanchard again going on the inside. He's a man on a mission.
He is a man on a mission. is Chris Blanchard as he gets the job done over Jeremy Bush and now looks to Yusuf Corfidis to get past him as well. Scott Weston wants to get by Bush up here at Coca-Cola. Can't go around the outside, can he? Yes, he can. He'll get the inside at 100R. In a great battle between them. Scott Weston, has he got the job done for the West Australian? He has indeed. Bush has to back out of it, and look at the spray off the cars now, Brett. Unbelievable.
Listen to just hanging it on the outside around there too. He's done a good job actually. Just keep up the pace offline.
Offline is starting to work for those wet tyre runners. We mentioned Callahan has finally gotten past Cesar now as well, as we're on to the critical laps of lap 30 of 31. They're all doing a fantastic effort. We'll head back to that battle. Keep an eye on it as it's time for question 3 as Lister looks to go up the inside of Bush. He'll get the job done. Will he do it? Oh, he's still there on the outside. Jesus. Bit of contact between them. Can he do it? Lister's run wide. He's not going to run.
Lister's gone. Lister's gone.
Yep, Verben comes back at him. He's still there, but he's lost out to Brett Taylor now.
A couple of spots,
Wants to try and get up the inside of Taylor as Listener. Oh, it's tenacity at its finest to hang on to this. Drag race towards turn 1. Can he make this stick? They're not really giving us a good chance to call out these questions, Brett. They're giving us too good a racing to call.
Right. Yeah. This is, look, and the spray is starting. It's not big spray, but it's just starting to kick up off the back of the cars a bit more.
Yeah, Boardman and Chapman as well. They're battling for position back here inside of the 10. Lap traffic of Gakoshki in behind those guys too. So this continues on. Unbelievable stuff. As Chapman holds on. Jeremy Bush, though, has had a moment at turn 1. This battle has heated up so much that he's fallen away. And now they peter out once more. Hopefully this is our chance to finally ask question 3.
That was actually a big butt pucker moment for me there. Bush was sideways, I think, in front of me. And I thought, oh, no, here we go. This is the end of my race. But no, we move on and live for another day.
Okay, all right. Question 3 for you, Brett. What year did a Ford Mustang and Chevrolet Camaro last race each other at Oran Park? Option A, 1969. Option B, 1972. Option C, 1977. Or option D, 1984, as Callahan is forced into pit lane because the session has been declared wet. But his teammate Ryan Allen on the dries continues on. Would you like me to repeat the options?
No, I've got it. I've written it down. 69, 72, 77, and 84.
Yes.
I'm thinking either B or C. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm not looking at the chat for any hints. When was it? 69. 69 would have been. I'm going to go 72B.
Need to take him to the pub quiz team with this sort of run. It's 3 in a row for Brett Fisher. It is option B, 1972. He's absolutely killed it with that one. Unbelievable, Brett. How have you done that as Blanchard runs wide west as well? What a run for the... Oh, unbelievable. All right. Question 4.
Holy shit.
Question 4, and I will give you a little piece of information for you that may help you to the answer if you think about it logically. Question 4 is, what year did Oran Park Raceway officially close? Option A, 2005. Option B, 2008. Option C, 2010. Or option D, 2012. And the piece of info I'll give you, Brett, is the final race that was run at Oran Park was in 2008, and it was the final round of the season because it was Mark Scaife's final race in V8 Supercars.
Sorry, say that last bit again.
So it's going to take away an answer because, but the last race that ever happened at Oran Park happened in 2008. I know this, and it was the final round of the season because it was Mark Scaife's final race in V8 Supercars as a full-time driver.
But what was the question?
The question
it was
is,
when
what year did Oran Park Raceway officially close?
officially closed.
Yes.
So obviously it's either 10 or 12.
Well, they might have closed it in December, who knows, but, of 08,
Yeah, but they might have had smaller things going on it after that. Did it close 4 years after? Did it close 2 years after? Oh, jeez.
A lot of pressure.
All right, I'm gonna. Yeah. I'm gonna go 2010.
We're gonna have to just name a quiz after you, Brett, at this point, because that's 4 questions in a row.
Oh, you're joking!
It was 2010.
Oh, wow. Oh, and by all means, I am not cheating. I am not Googling anything. I am doing this straight up. And I did say to Hamish, because he did pre-warn me that, I've got this coming up. I did nothing to prepare for it. So I am shocked thus far.
So no, I'm as gobsmacked as you are, Brett, as Ron
Allen in
finally
pit lane.
pit lane.
Yeah.
So he's gone maybe
We're
a little
on
bit
lap
too long on
33.
these dries. He's been struggling the last few laps, but this session is now declared wet. So those wet tyre runners are now getting some advantage. Bruce Tunnick's got a 5-second gap over Halil Cesar in P2. The final question for you, Brett, and the opportunity to get a clean sweep. We have got a bonus question at the end that is not going to be worth any. It's not going to break the perfect sweep because it is a bonus question. Question 5 is, why is Oran Park still raced regularly today despite being demolished? Option A, there's a replica track built in Queensland. Option B, there's a temporary street circuit version of the circuit in the housing estate that's there. Option C, there's a laser scanned version of the circuit existing in iRacing. Option D, there is an annual historic reconstruction event of the track.
I'll go for option C.
And that is a clean sweep for Brett Fisher on the 5 questions. Congratulations, Brett. And for the bonus question, and for extra chocolates on top for you, before we get back to this spectacular racing as everyone's now spread out a little bit.
Because it's...
Can you name the famous Turn 1 corner at Oran Park?
Oh. No idea. No hints at all.
Well, I could give you hints. That would kind of give it away. I could give you a line of thought if you like. Knowing the style of circuit that it is, Brett, and knowing the style of turn that Turn 1 is, and the era that this circuit raced, the name of this corner is very, era specific. It is like, if you think of a track from that time, it would have a corner that's named the same as this one.
Hell Corner.
I'm gonna give you a chance to answer again, because I don't mean one specific corner. I mean, this would be a general corner. That it's like Main Street. A lot of tracks would have a corner named like this. I will give you a hint if you like. Broome.
Yeah, because I honestly got no idea. No idea.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. The hint is the word Broome.
The sweeper.
Yes, it is. It is the sweeper.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Congratulations, Brett.
Yeah, okay.
5 out of 5.
That's surprising.
For the regular questions, and got the 6th one as well. Hope you all enjoyed trivia time with Brett Fisher here at Fuji. Thank you to Peter Backer for sending in the questions about Oran Park. Appreciate it. And if you feel that we should be racing Oran Park next season, voice your opinion in the chat tonight and in the Vets Discord. I want to see it on the calendar. For you as well. Could run 77 laps there if we did 200 Ks. as we've hit past the halfway point. We're an hour into this race, Brett. It is lap 35 of 67.
Yeah.
Bruce
Andrew
Tanek
Gallagher getting sideways.
has dropped some time to Halil Cesar here. 3.4 seconds is the gap. The bonus for Tanek is he can go a few laps longer than Cesar can on his fuel. There is a 7-second advantage that Cesar took in pit lane to Tanek. So Tanek took a 33-second stop. Cesar took a 26-second stop. So that's going to equate to, it's 2.3 litres per second. So it's roughly 20-ish litres. So that's probably going to lead to about 6 extra laps for Bruce Tanek across this stint.
Listener in pit lane.
Yeah, it's good to see Andrew Listener back in. Now, Listener's going to take wets here, you would obviously assume. The way this race is going, the rain is falling, but it's not falling at a heavy, heavy rate, Brett.
Yeah.
It's not falling at a rate that makes me believe that we are going to see a downpour. We're still at 97% precipitation. We've had no safety cars thus far to speak of. But it doesn't mean we're not going to see one tonight. We could still see an appearance of it throughout the rest of this race. Andrew Galley is trying to get past Bretton O'Brien here in P11 as everyone else continues their battle away as well. We've got 37 people watching at the moment, so it's great to have you all here for the 300k endurance race here at Fuji. Galley, who started,
having a good dip here.
He is started inside of the top 6, runs up the inside of Bretton O'Brien. Is he going to come out the other side ahead? He is indeed.
Yes.
Great move for Galley into P11. He's 4.5 seconds away from the top 10 where he started. Importantly for him, he took a 37-second stop. That is 10 seconds shorter than James Boardman, who is only 6.3 seconds ahead of him, Brett. So on the math states, he should be ahead of Boardman when he comes out of pit lane, so he should be in the top 10 as Chad Weiger comes in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Like you say, the state of the track wasn't saturated, but there was enough water there to sort of just make it a bit tricky. Ooh, just seeing Andrew just getting the right-hand side tyres onto that ripple strip on the outside. And that was just one thing I was going to mention. You wanted to try and keep off any of the painted lines because that was going to send your car into oblivion. We just see McCune getting past Bush there for 21st. Yeah, and you know, especially I think coming down into the right-hander, I can't remember what turn it was. Was it 12, 13 or something like that? It was actually getting a bit slick in there, you know, like you did actually have to watch the car as you sort of crested over that little hump to the right hand, and the car sort of just wanted to skew a bit. So that was definitely one to watch it further on in the race with the water coming down. Treacherous. There's plenty of gaps out there at the moment.
Treacherous track for wet conditions. Brett Taylor at this stage, we sit on board with him. He's tucked in behind Mick Clifton as Bruce Tanek has run wide. He has run wide down, where was that? Was that turn 1? He ran wide at turn 1. And he gets back past the lap traffic of Stephen Kokoschki. But that's going to chew into that gap that he had back to Cesar. 2.3 seconds is now the gap. Unbelievable. Leo Henning asking, can we get an update on how many penalties Kokoschki has so far? I think he only has 1 to this point of this race, maybe 2. I know he'd have 2 because of the contact with Quain. So I believe he has Once we see this, the second pit stops go through, the rain may settle and ease up a bit. We're going to see the things come alive again as they normalise and everyone sort of maybe gets a bit closer than what they are at the moment if they've made a correct strategy. Pete Baxter, Abel Verban getting past Pete Baxter on the front straight there. Quizmaster Pete Baxter, I might add.
Yeah, Quizmaster.
Verban just drifted the rear end around as he got past him, so he was showing off a little bit as he made that move happen. But Gary Buckland and Roy Clark battling closely together right now in P3 and P4. in a very good position. 34-second stop for Buckland, 41-second stop for Roy Clark. Corrected order right now for Roy. He would be corrected P2 in this race. Great position for Roy to be in at this point of the night. Rick Feiger, he sits in behind them with a 34-second stop himself. Dave Duddle, though, 52 seconds on the stop for him. He just has to try and play this strategy correctly now, and he could maybe get himself back up on the podium with this sort of strategy tonight as well. Can't look past guys like Tony Chapman and even Jamie Peters, who's up 20 positions at this point. James Baldwin up 24, but he has taken that shorter stop, so he kind of needs the rain to or go away pretty shortly if he thinks he could go on dries, or he'd have to have it remain wet to really get an advantage out of this race tonight.
And that's the next thing that's going to be going through all the drivers' minds is, you know, if the rain stops, when are we going to go to dries? You know, are we going to be able to go to dries? You know, so that's the next thing that's, you know, I mean, do you go to dries when, you know, like, do you just take that little advantage or I don't know. It's just one of those things. You've got to play it as you see it.
The unfortunate thing is for those drivers, Brett, you've got to wait for it to be declared dry. So a similar way of the latest you can come in for wets is when it's declared wet. The earliest you can come in for dries is when the spotter declares the circuit as dry. Your car is not, the dry tyres, you do not want to have them on there.
Ooh, that
wet
was
session
close.
As Roy Clark was
up the inside down.
incredibly close on Gary Buckland on the inside of turn 13. But Buckle then shoots the inside of 14 and 15. Can he hang on here? Clark on the outside. Wants the move made if he can get it. They are catching. They're beginning to catch those top two, but then battling like this is not going to help that gap. This is not going to help them. But now it's a drag race towards turn one. Roy Clark, Gary Buckland in the battle for P3 at this stage, and it is a drag race to turn one. Who is going to come out ahead on the exit of the first corner here at Fuji? Buckland just slightly ahead of Clark here. Clark tries to do the side draft to pull that Camaro back. Under brakes, gets on the slick white line. You saw the squiggle from him. Can he hang on?
He's still there.
He is still there. On the exit of turn two, still alongside is Buckland. He's going to get the inside to Coca-Cola. Can he hang on through turn three? He can. Roy Clark has to back out of it in a wondrous little battle between them as he looks to the outside again in at 100R.
No. Dropping back to point three. Just close up again.
Oh.
Still in fight in attacking range there. Gary Buckland just a little bit wide there. Roy Clark just taking a slightly different line. Gets out of the corner quite well. Is he gaining? Slowly gaining, yeah.
We've got Pete Baxter in the chat with us as well, saying good evening to everyone. He's finishing up a GT3.
Oh, this is going to be tight.
3-hour races. Clark on the inside of Buckland. Could he get there for 13 again? He wants the same move at the same spot. This is where they went too wide from, all the way to turn three on the last lap. Unbelievable.
Have a go at how good this is.
Unbelievable.
This is fantastic stuff. Oh, Clark is wide. He's got onto the... No, we've seen that before. No, he's dropped back a little bit. Hang on, he's taking a different approach.
He wants to do the deep run. Deep run to get the exit.
Faster run.
It's the Long Beach strat. You take a deep apex to get the run down the straight in the hopes that you can power past on the exit as Cesar is now into pit lane. You'd expect him to take wets at this stage because the track is not considered dry yet. But if the rain stops, he's going to have to do a three-stop race, Brett, if this happens. So he needs the rain to stay. As Clark on the inside, turn one, gets the job done. Finally, great battle between them, and it continues as they keep fighting away. I want to say thank you to Pete Baxter once more, now that he's in the chat with us for the Oran Park
Blanchard
trivia.
and Weston battling. I think Blanchard, or Weston just might have got past Blanchard, maybe.
They are battling away in a hotly contested little triple threat of Weston, Blanchard and Brett Fisher. He knew this battle was happening because he was in it.
I actually didn't think. I was just looking at Weston and Blanchard's name there, actually, to tell you the truth. But, yeah, I am there. Blanchard on that, just on the tyres on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side of the white line there. Gets that job done. Weston got a little bit of a tailie out there.
Yeah, we did, Pete. Brett did very well. He got 5 out of 5 on the multiple choice questions.
No cheating
No
either.
cheating either.
Saying that with my hand on my heart.
A generational run.
I was quite
for the
surprised.
ages.
I was quite surprised.
You might be better at putt trivia than I thought, Brett. Who knows? But
maybe, I don't know. wouldn't bet my house on it, I'll tell you that right now.
The issue, as Roy's just pointed out, for that battle, as good as it was for Clark and Buckland to enjoy in the car, they lost 6 seconds to the race leader in Bruce Tannock. So the advantage they had of pit lane has just gone out the window for Roy Clark.
Yeah.
So he needs that gap down now as best he can. He will gain 8 seconds in pit lane. So he's got to get that gap down to below 8 seconds for him to take the lead off of the next stop as we come around turn 13. I'll ball with Brett Fisher as this battle continues on here out at Fuji.
And the rain is constant at the moment around the track, so we're definitely in sort of like that in that middle sort of part of the rain as we see Boardman coming into pit lane as well.
Once again, these will be wet tyre stops at this point of the race, so they're just going to have to push on and hope the rain stays. If it dries out, they're going to have to commit to a dry tyre stop, and ultimately, Brett, they're going to want to have to do it earlier rather than later. They don't want to stay out too long on the wet tyres if the track starts to dry, because they're going to drop time off like an anchor at the back of the car. So that's going to be a tough balancing act for those guys too if that does happen as well. But yeah, for Bruce Tannock, he sits in a comfortable position, 16.5 seconds. Roy Clark has managed to break away from Gary Buckland a bit here, but he's got to gain roughly 8 seconds on the race leader. He can go probably 6 laps longer than what Tannock can. So he's got to outlap Tannock by nearly 1.2 seconds per lap. Last lap for Tannock was a 1:48.3. Clark's was a 48.5. So they're right about with each other on the lap times, but Clark's got to try and make this happen now. He's got to push on, and he's got to hope that he can close that gap to get this done in pit road.
This is a great run from Clark. He's got to be happy with his efforts so far. He's sort of played his the pit strats has played in his hands at the moment, so that's really, really good. He'd be pumped about that. Let's see if he can close it out. Oh, and Jamie Peters, I'm just looking at Jamie Peters. Rick Vigraf 8 spots in 5th, and Jamie Peters up 22 in 6 spots. So huge effort there for Jamie Peters.
His name is the driver of the day, possibly. The strategy that he's pulled is focusing to the point of he could be in the top 5 by the end of this race, and it would be a hell of a run for the returning Split 2 driver this season. He hasn't been in Split 2 for many, many seasons. He even took a couple of seasons away after his last run in Split 3. He pre-qualified his way into Split 2 this season, proving he had the pace to do it. Maybe he was just having some struggles when he was in Split 3. Tonight, this is a breakout performance if he can make it happen. Wouldn't be his only top 10 finish here in Split 2. He has had a couple before when he was at his previous team. But now that he's sitting as the lone wolf, he wants to be the lone wolf on the podium, and he wants to get himself one hell of a result here at Fuji. What a way to resurge some momentum leading into season 28 next season, for the final rounds of season 27 at Melbourne and at Adelaide for season's end.
We're on lap 42 of 67 here at Fuji. So far interesting race has been unfolding, and it continues to do so.
Now, we predicted, Brett, that Bruce Tannock could go roughly 6 or 7 laps longer than what Halil Cesar did. Halil Cesar went to lap 39, and we're on lap 43 at this stage. So we should expect Bruce Tannock in pit lane in only a few laps' time. Now, the question will be will he put wets on,
is it wets or dries,
will he put dries on? Because the track is beginning to dry. The rain has stopped at this stage for the majority of the circuit, so it is actually beginning to dry. So it's looking like it is going to be a dry tyre run to the end. So those drivers who came in earlier took wets. Unfortunately, they've gotten the strategy the wrong way around tonight. They should have taken the longer stop and then the short stop to the end and
Yeah,
guaranteed
yeah.
themselves a 2-stopper to the end. What they've done is we can see a couple of sprinkles down at turn 6. This is really the only spot where we're actually seeing rain at this stage. So this is probably the wettest corner on the whole track. One of the
And we're not
toughest
seeing a
corners as well.
massive plume of spray behind the cars either. So it's not, the track is not like saturated. We're not seeing any pooling of the water on the track as well. So look, you know, we talked about earlier whether you take that gamble and it might pay off or whatever, you know, on dries, wet, blah, blah, blah. But I think, you know, when Tanek's fuel gauge gets down to such a point where he has to come in, I think he's going to have to take dries. Knowing the fact is that it's starting to ease up.
I think as well, so knowing the type of driver that Bruce is, obviously he's a driver with a lot of drifting experience. He has very good car control in these sorts of conditions. We could give some comparison to the likes of Shane Van Gisbergen when he would drive this car in the wet as well. He has very good car control in terms of keeping this thing on the straight and narrow when it comes to pure driving. Now, if that happens, the way that this is drying out, he's probably one of a few of the safest drivers you could pick to take dries at this driving circuit, and he'd very likely be okay.
Well, see, lap times are still 1:48.5, so they're not
But
really dropping at the moment. And
that's
just
on
in
wets. That is on wets.
yeah.
We've really got
Although
to
Roy
see.
Clark's done a 1:47.7.
Yeah, he did. Now the issue is going to be when you take dries, you're going to have to stick to the racing line like glue. You can't go offline because that's where it's going to be its wettest. So you've got to stick to the racing line like glue. There's going to be no passing opportunities into turn 1 because you're going to be risking going over that slick white line at the pit exit. So there'll be a couple of spots that you have opportunity at, but ultimately it is going to be a bit of a train to the end as Scott Weston, Chris Blanchard, Brett Fisher continue this battle towards turn 1. Interesting to see where the cake comes up and who's going to take a slice of it first. But yeah, this is going to put some struggle on the strategy, and it's going to put some struggle on drivers to make a decision. As Chad Weiger has gone round, to pull away for that moment there. He's gone round down at turn 6. Oh, there's his brother. That's his brother Ricken behind him. He's had to take evasive action, not realising that his brother was going slow. That's a scary moment for that bloodline. He's made that happen. But, Brett, you got the job done there on Scott Weston at turn 1. Great move. And now looking to put the pressure on Blanchard.
Let's go. Bruce Tanek did actually make a point too. The rain stopped for one lap and then promptly started up again a lap later. And that was one of the tricky things, you know, like if you're questioning. And here we go. Oh, geez, I think he nearly clipped that guardrail.
He did nearly clip that guardrail.
Last week he had an issue with pit lane. Don't we know about that one?
That was definitely a flashback to last week for Bruce Tanek.
There may or may not be mention in the hype up song about that coming up later on.
So we know this thing's got wets on it at the moment. You would suspect dry tyres are going to be the choice, knowing that this is a drying circuit. We watch for the tyre change. We watch for what it's going to be. He is up on those jacks. Is it going to be slicks or is it going to be wet tyres again? It's got to be slicks. It's got to be slicks. We wait for him to drop to see what the change is. And I believe it is slick tyres. Oh, he's gone up again.
Oh. What's happened there?
Bruce has gone up again. So a mistake in pit lane for Bruce Tanek. He's gone up twice. He exits now. But it is slick tyres on that car.
Wow,
and you see here, Cesar and Allen are battling away. And this has allowed Cesar to remain right on the tail of Tanek. Unbelievable.
There you go. Bruce Tanek's just commented in the chat. Yeah.
So he put wets on and then decided, no, we're actually going to take dries. He had the 10 seconds up his sleeve. Smart move, honestly. Smart move. He used the time advantage that he had to his advantage and made that conscious change. So Cesar and Allen battle away. Tanek out there on dries.
Could be a make or break.
It could be.
And he's a bit of a pioneer at the moment out there.
He's one of a
seeing
few
how
drivers,
this is going to run for him.
One of a few drivers on those dry tyres at this stage. Roy Clark is into the race lead, and thanks to Bruce Tannick changing his mind in pit lane, this could mean that Roy could be ahead of him out of pit lane if he doesn't make a mistake. If Roy can keep that pit stop nice and tidy, because ultimately, Brett, he needed about 10 seconds to get his advantage in pit lane. He's going to be right there with him.
I love a good suspense thriller.
Yes, as Andrew Galley is now in.
And I think Galley was restricted by fuel. He needed to come in, and that's why he's in there. I see a couple of other drivers in pit lane.
Ron Allen, well, he's in the same boat as what Cesar is. He wants this thing to stay wet. He doesn't want this track to dry out. As Andrew Galley is
as
now
well.
in,
McCune in.
McCune.
So starting to see a few people come in and react. There's a bit of rain coming down that front straight.
Yeah, there's still some spray, but there's no rain. So they're all keeping it nice and tidy. Cesar wants this inside run on Ron Allen to remain and apply the pressure on Bruce Tannick. But is it going to be all for nothing? Will Cesar have to pit again to take some tyres to the end of this race? Or is it going to stay wet enough for the wet tyres? Has Tannick made the right choice of taking the dries right now? Well, the clouds say he has, because there's no rain dropping.
And you can see that dry line too. There's a small dry line, a bit of a tram track out there at the moment.
The precipitation's still
of the
high
track.
at 99%, but that's not saying it's a 99% chance of rain. It just means that the rain is going to be thick. It's going to be, the droplets are going to be heavy. It's going to get wet quickly. That doesn't necessarily mean, though, that it is guaranteed to rain to the end. So there is some rain up at turn 13. So those wet tyre runners will get a little bit of advantage over the dry tyre runners. But we need to watch the lap time mechanic to see where the lap time is.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be the major comparison between those that have taken wets and those that have taken dries. And if it's anything lower than a 146, Brett, I think dries are the choice. And I think if you've pitted for wets already, you've just got to suck it up, come in now, and take dry tyres, if that is the case. Because
last time around, Roy Clark did a 147.223.
But he is on wet tyres right now. So
he's on wet tyres, yeah.
So let's watch for Tannick. What's this lap going to be for? It's a 146.4.
Ooh, 46.4.
So it's there. It is there. What about Andrew Galley? He's also on dries. Now, this is technically his outlap. So because this is his outlap, it's going to be possibly slightly slower, I do believe. So
yeah, it would be.
It's only raining in a couple of spots, and that's the key.
Definitely see. You can see that dry line. It's a real clear dry line there.
Tell you what,
Pete Baxter in pit lane
has finally gotten past Tony Chapman, by the way. So the 95
up
car
25,
up 25 spots in a great effort thus far. What a drive for Jamie Peters. What a drive from a lot of these races here tonight, as Blanchard, Fisher and Weston continue their battle, as does Brett Taylor and Mick Clifton in behind. Then 7 seconds back, there's Bruce Tannick, previously our corrected race leader, but we're not too sure. And as Tannick has said in the chat with us, once the tyre temp is up on the slicks, it's got grip.
It's got grip, yeah.
So
you just don't get off that dry line.
You've just got to deal with the cold tyres as Buckland locks it up in the pit lane. Brings it in. Big lock up.
That's scary, because sometimes you feel like you're actually gaining pace if you lock up.
So once these tyres are up to temperature, the dry tyre cars are going to be rocket ships, because the dry line is formed. There you can see it on the straight. The dry line is formed, but you've got to stay on the train tracks. You cannot get off them. As soon as you're offline, it's gone. It's going to go off the road. As soon as you hit that grass, you're going to be off the road. Tannick's going to cross the line. What's the lap time going to be? 1:45.3.
Yeah, we're on.
So it's time for dries. It's time for those wet tyre runners to just admit that they may have got the strategy wrong if they've already come in for wets, and they've got to come in this lap for dry tyres, because it's starting to get away from them. You don't want to give away the time on track as well as the time in pit lane, You've got to limit it as best you can. Galley just hit a 42. 42.92 for Andrew Galley. So it is well and truly dry tyre weather right now.
And that's probably that extra time that he's had on those dries as well. Just a bit more heat in the tyre.
You say that, Brett. He came in a lap after Tannic.
Oh, did he?
He did.
My bad. Well, don't listen to anything I say because it's more than likely ridiculous.
Tannic came in a lap 44. Galley came in a lap 45. So it's given an absolute fantastic free kick to the drivers who haven't done their second stop yet, who are still on wets to come in and take dry tyres. Yeah. The thing is, though, are they concentrating on the lap times of the dry tyre runners? Because that's where the focus needs to be right now. It doesn't need to be on your times. Yeah. It's what are the lap times of those drivers on dries? Because that's going to give you the determination. Those drivers that know, they're likely going to come in pit lane this lap, and they're going to take those dries. So we're going to watch pit lane. It's going to heat up, and it's going to be an absolute horror show for some drivers, but it's going to be an absolute crapshoot for how many are coming in. So there's quite a few coming in, including yourself, Brett, and Chris Blanchard. Says is coming in, so he's gone early on this because he knows that there's definite time to be lost remaining on the wets. You might as well gain the time where you can on track. What about Callahan? We know he's on wets right now. He's staying out, as is Rick Feiger. Andrew Galley will obviously stay out on dries. Does Boardman come in and follow his teammate? So they're going. Those guys that are guaranteed 3 stops now, they're giving up an extra 10 seconds. Yeah. They're giving up an extra 10 seconds here, Brett, but ultimately they can gain that back quite quickly if the wet tyre runners run too long. Because if the wet tyre runners are running, say, 146s and the dries are down at 142s, they're going to gain it back within 3 laps. You know, they're going to be on pretty much. So
Nathan Favero in chat just saying that it did dry extremely quickly, and it did. It actually, the track dried out very, very quickly.
Yeah. I think that's because the track, I don't think, got torrential wet. I think it was at the point of greasiness. It was then declared wet, and it kind of stayed there from the looks of it. It didn't really. It was right on that tipping point. Yeah. Yeah, it was right on that tipping point. We didn't have any standing water or anything like that. If we had standing water, then it probably would have. The track probably would have actually been wet to the end, even without the rain. But because it was such spotty rain, it's meant that the track hasn't actually gotten quite as wet as what we thought. Peter's in the pit lane now as well. So and I think the rain was rolling around the track though too. Some parts of the track was raining, and then other parts weren't, and then it's like the squalls come across, and some it just changed. It didn't just absolutely belt down really super heavy, but lap 50 of 67 laps here at Fuji. We're now getting to see all of our other second stoppers coming in. Our compulsory stops. Roy Clark is taking an extra long stop here for over 50 seconds. What has happened to Roy Clark?
What's happened?
And that strategy.
Oh, that's a shame for Clark.
Clark has dropped. Peters has come out. He's come out behind Duddle. And Clark is dropping significantly quick. He's coming out now. So something has happened.
Poor pit entry.
He must have hit that red line that we mentioned about.
Oh, Buckland saying someone was it him that ran out of fuel?
Well, yeah, he's just
been
passed by Roy Clark. Wow.
Yeah, wow. See, look at what's being thrown in the latter stages of this race. There's a number of things that are being thrown at these races at the moment.
David Duddle as well has forgotten to take dry, so he's actually come out on wets. So he's going to have to...
And he was going so well as... Oh, wow.
In. So the way I'm looking at this, Brett, is Bruce Tannick is the corrected race leader, and right now is unchallenged.
Oh, that's a shame because I was looking forward to some of these other...
Ultimately, Duddle's wet tyres are going to run out eventually.
Yeah.
Corrected P2 right now is Jamie Peters.
Yeah.
Who is going to be up 26 positions when he gets to P2.
Yeah.
Unbelievable
He's having a cracker.
that this has
Absolute
played out
cracker.
so well. Unbelievable as he looks to get past Michael Quain. We can't stop the race now. Well, Nathan, if we stop the race now, the top 3 would actually get disqualified because they haven't completed their CPSs. So you actually wouldn't be. You actually wouldn't be 1, 2, 3. It would still go to Tannick, Dunnell, and Peters. So we could stop the count on where you are, but if it was only a 1 CPS, then yes, you would be in that spot. But yeah, Jamie is doing an incredible job. Will be up 26 when he gets to P2. Because, as I said, David is going to have to come into pit lane at some point. And that's all. That's going to come by pretty swiftly, I would say, because this track is drying out very, very quickly at this stage. Tony Chapman, race leader and pole sitter here tonight, comes into pit lane. Craig Miller, his teammate, follows him in. Does Nathan Favero do the team game and come in as well? He does indeed. That is going to give the race lead back to Bruce Tannick.
Mr. Tannick.
Who is only 15 laps away from a race win here at Fuji. And by God, couldn't you have asked for a better storyline going to the end of the season, Brett? Couldn't you have asked for a better shake-up this season? Kokoschki's dropping points tonight. That's going to mean this will be one of his drop rounds alongside very likely Long Beach.
Good old hot and cold Kokoschki.
Buckland, who's unfortunately dropped now to probably the rear end of the top 10, is going to drop points to him as well. Tannick's going to be up there now. Ben Brook too, down the order. Like, where's this going to put him in terms of championship standings? This is huge for that top 5. And the other driver that was in that 5, who we spoke about, Rick Viger, he's down the order. Ron Allen, who's been sneaking up there, he's in the top 15. The massive gainer out of tonight, though, is Bruce Tannick. Bruce could be possibly championship leader into the Nürburgring, or he's going to be right there with Buckland to Adelaide. That is one thing right now that could be for certain if he wins this race. And in these scenarios, he doesn't often lose them. He doesn't often give up wins like this. So for Bruce Tannick, he is probably the man to put your money on right now to get that race win. Roy Clark.
He's driven really, really well too.
He's driven incredibly well.
We've seen a change. This has been
probably Bruce Tannick's
Daryl
best
Kenner
season.
off track.
Yep, Callahan down at turn 1, runs it wide, tries to get it back on. He does nice and tidily. Roy Clark, though, is starting to pressure Nathan Favero here. And this pack of cars has been together most of the night, Brett. Clark, Buckland and Cesar. Those guys have been together majority of the evening. It's getting feisty. Favero moves out of the way, gives it to them. Because I don't think he much wants to get involved with this hot battle between these 3 drivers. Play the survival game. Keep yourself in it to the end.
It's starting to get tense. I feel the
indeed.
pressure building.
And I will say as well, Brett, the fact that right now Halil Cesar has taken 3 stops in this race and is only 2 spots down from where he started the race.
That's not, yeah.
Shows he somehow has pulled this back.
That.
There was another slowdown for Nathan Favero, so that's why he moved swiftly out of the way. Fair play to him. As you see, Cesar here, bump drafting Buckland down the straight. He wants to try and make this move, possibly. He's actually not quite close enough for the bump draft. He wants a side draft on the rear tyre. He'll have a look here on Buckland. Can he make this move in towards turn 1? Keeps it off the white line. Up the inside goes Cesar. Makes the move on Buckland. Holds him up mid-corner escape style. And makes it stick into the top 10. What a move for Cesar to get him into the 10 past the championship leader.
Yeah, 53-67. Starting to close down now. Things are getting a little bit more desperate. Track is definitely starting to dry, but it's not completely dry, so you want to keep, a little bit in reserve. We see
Chapman and Miller, and then there's Andrew Galley in behind them as well, getting past the lap traffic of Scott McCune. And there's Michael Quain back there. Brenton O'Brien's a few seconds back, but he's just continuing to be up double digits here tonight, up 11 positions, sorry. We've got Gunther von Nordschleifer in the chat with us as well. Blanchard needs to pull his finger out. Well, he's P8 at the moment, but is he dropping time to Clark? It's 2.4 seconds. The last lap for him was a 1:41.76. Clark was a 1:43.33. Cesar did a 1:41.26 on the last lap, and that was leading up to a pass on Buckland at turn 1. And this is now the old faithful point of the night where we're past 10 p.m, Brett, and this is where the old bodies start to get a bit tired in the rig. So this could be where the mistakes start to come here tonight at Fuji.
Well, it's been full-on concentration too. Like, it's been foggy all night. We've had rain. The concentration level has been up to the eyeballs in maximum effort, and like we're getting, it's a long race. Like any little mistake is going to bring someone undone. As we start and get down to the nitty-gritty, once we're into that 10 to go, that's when it really starts to amp up. People who are close to someone might sort of start and go, oh, okay, now's the time to push a little bit harder. Mistakes happen.
Just a part for you, just a point for you. That last lap for Blanchard, 1:42.64. Last lap for Clark, 1:40.57. Last lap for Cesar, 1:40.9. As Vero now gets past Buckland, who's slowing. And maybe a bit of fuel saving needing to happen here for Gary Buckland to get that car to the end. So Blanchard is bleeding time to Roy Clark and Halil Cesar, who are slowly chasing him down. Is Blanchard going to survive this battle, this onslaught of Mustangs that are chasing that WKMP Sim Sports Croc Kart Parts entry here for P8 on the road? To give you a bit of, an interesting point here as well, Brett. Blanchard, still where he started the race, P8. Roy Clark up 1 from where he started this race into P9. Cesar down 1 from where he started this race. All three of them have somehow found their way around where they started the race from P8 back to P10. It's unbelievable that sort of stat can happen amongst this field. Craig Miller at the moment and Tony Chapman, they're continuing to try and work together here, but Miller has dropped a bit of time. He's got Andrew Galley hot on his heels as they run through 100R once more.
Yeah, Galley's hungry. He's driven a good race
very
too.
Hungry. Driven a great race.
Glad to see Tony Chapman too come back, and he's only three positions down. But I mean, earlier in the race, he would have been kicking himself for losing so many spots on the start of the race. Oh, Kikoshi.
Yeah, just continuing in the wars tonight, unfortunately for him. Listener, who's still on wet tyres, by the way, is hoping that they turn into slicks.
Well, they probably will at some point, but then they might get down to they might get down to something else less than slicks.
Oh, well, the slick would be the wheel, wouldn't it, at that point? As he's still hanging on here. As Blanchard is just trying to push on as best he can. Cesar and Clark are right on his tails. Favero battles with Buckland and Brett Fisher here for a top 12 spot. Go, Brett, up 2.
Yeah. This battle's on.
It is on. It's on for young and old.
Oh, old and old. Depends,
Oh, man. Depends if you classify yourself as old, I suppose.
Well, I'm not young. I know that for sure. The body. Hey!
Oh, that's a bit of young driving.
Hey, Mr. Drifter.
That put a bit of hair on your chest there, Brett. A bit of sweat on the brow as well. That's going to allow Ron Allen to maybe get past you here down the straight. Bit of door banging towards turn 1. Yeah. Give him a little wave, maybe shake his hand as well.
Yeah.
And this is heating up. Oh, Cesar has a bit of a blink though behind Roy Clark. Hopefully that doesn't continue to form into a problem as Allen and Fisher continue to fight through 2. Allen wants to make this work for him, but Fisher looks to hang on. And Allen gets through. What a good little battle between Brett Fisher and Ron Allen there. Fantastic to see. Dave Duddle is under pressure now from Jamie Peters for P2. Peters gets it done on the road.
He's gone.
Past the wet tyre runner of Duddle. Duddle is dropping time like a bag of spuds right now. He cannot hang on to this thing. He's got to commit to dries. I think the best choice that Duddle could have made, Brett, knowing he was still on wets, was he should have pitted on his outlap from pit lane. He should have just come straight in,
just get
taken
it
the
done.
dries and push on. This is the problem now. He's given up so much time. All of a sudden, he's under pressure from Chapman for the podium as well. Chapman gets through. Back on the podium. Roy Clark has gone round. Roy Clark has gone round as he was battling with Blanchard and Cesar. That'll be one for the highlight reel, I'm sure. But Chapo now onto the podium once more. Duddle continues on. Now he'll give up roughly 35 seconds in pit lane. How far will that drop him? As Horsell, Listener battle away. They've got Boardman ahead of them as they look to chase down Jeremy Bush and Yusuf Corfidis as well. Dave Duddle is dropping here. He's off the road at turn 1. He has got no grip out there to save his life. He's got to get it into pit lane.
Quain in pits as well.
As Ben Brook.
I told you, lap 57 to 67, 10 laps, or 11 laps, whatever you want to call it. You know, everything's starting to light up here.
It has.
It's all starting to happen. You know, we're in for an interesting closing of this race at Fuji. We've had an interesting race so far. Some strats have been questioned. But yeah, Tony Chapman, that's great for him to come back. You know, into 2 down from where he started from, into 3rd spot at the moment. Can he hold on to that? That's great to see him back up there after that disappointing probably kick-off at the start. Bruce Tannick really just commanding this race at the moment, 24 seconds out in front of Peters. Peters also having an absolute corker of a run, 26 positions gained so far. So he's definitely having one for the ages.
Well, of course, being a wet race.
Horsell
dropping time off of 1. He's got Hoffman in behind who slows up and lets him hold the position. The teammates trying to work together here. So Cesar back right on the back of Blanchard's car. Pressure's forming in this battle for P8 to the checkered flag. The drivers that started this race here in these positions, as Baxter has now gotten past Listener, who's dropping spots. That's another case of David Duddle. He's going to get in and put the dries on. Duddle's finally in. Roy Clark, I think, may have just dropped as well.
Way earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a shame for Clark. He was having a real good run. That's a shame. That is a real shame.
What I will say for David is a learning experience for future. There is a positive that you can pull out of this you learn what you can do in future and how you can best approach it in future as well. That's what I can say to David right now is I think there is a lot to learn from this, and that's a positive that you can learn from it is if it happens again, just either do what Bruce did and just go back up on the jacks and take the dries, save the traverse time, or come back in the next lap and take the dries then. That would be my best bet.
Sometimes you get a bit flustered. Sometimes you get a bit flustered too, you know, and a lot of things happen at one time, so you're trying to do whatever you can do the right thing.
Well, what we're going to do right now is we're going to take this chance, Brett, to give thanks to Racecraft Simulations, who've been long-time supporters of the V8 Veterans. You know, Brett, as of next season, they've been title sponsors of the Vets for 10 seasons. It's been since season 18. They've been with us here in V8 Veterans, so we want to give thanks to them by taking a quick opportunity to have a very quick ad break. With less than 10 laps to go is Bruce Tannick's race at this stage, as he is in control by over 20 seconds to P2 and Jamie Peters. But where can everyone else finish? Time will tell, as it's 10 to go here at Fuji, but we'll be back very shortly with more from 300k, 67 laps, Fuji Speedway for round out of season 27. Don't go anywhere. Back after these quick messages from Racecraft. Welcome back into the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans Split 2 action here for round 8 of season 27 out at Fuji Speedway. 300 kilometres, 67 laps, and we have got 7 laps to the end. Well, it's about to be 7 to the end now for the race leader, Bruce Tannick, who is well in control. 22.5 seconds in the lead, ahead of Jamie Peters and Tony Chapman as they look to battle away for a P2 finish here tonight. The man from Rye, the surfer, the man up 26 positions. He's ridden the wave perfectly in the wet conditions. Can he survive the onslaught from Chapman in behind? Brett, it's been unbelievable thus far.
Oh, has it what? It's been actually a pretty good race so far. Like, there's been a lot of action. There's been some ups and downs. And it's not got over yet. 61 laps we've traversing of 67 here on the V8 Vets. Fuji race round 8, I believe. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes, it is. You are correct.
Good. I don't know why I just went on a ramble then and didn't know where I was going.
Who knows? 2 rounds coming up, of course, that you can look forward to across the next 2 weeks. 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time across the next 2 Saturday evenings on your calendar for you to round out May 23rd next week. The Nürburgring Nordschleife, the full German-Strecker 24-hour circuit. 8 laps of the Nürburgring for the penultimate round of the season, the final droppable round of the season. And then Saturday night, May 30th, 2026, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, round 10, the finale, undroppable, 250 kilometres, 78 laps of Adelaide Street Circuit to crown the champion of Split 2 for season 28. The grand final at where the grand final should be, Adelaide Street Circuit. I am an advocate that Adelaide should always be the finale. I understand we want to change it up sometimes, but what a finale it will create for us when we head to the streets of Adelaide once more. 2 seasons in a row. Last season, it was our opener. This season, it's our finale, and it's going to be an exciting one. We look forward to the details coming out very shortly for season 28. I'm sure sign-ups will go live very shortly as well. We want to find out about the calendar going forward. We made some predictions of what the Australian circuits for next season will be, as Scott Weston has got his teammate Brett Taylor in behind him, so these guys are working together.
Favero attacking myself.
He is indeed. Up towards turn 1.
Correct.
We spoke about pre-show, Brett, season 28, where we see it lying and what circuits we could see next season as Favero runs wide. You get back up the inside of him. And 2 Australian circuits I think we're guaranteed to see next season, Phillip Island and Winton. I think we should be near on guaranteed to see on the calendar. We may see Sandown. We haven't seen Sandown in a few seasons, so it could be that it's Phillip Island and Sandown, or Sandown and Winton, and the one that's being advocated for, Oran Park. So there's a lot on the line as Favero runs it very, very deep down at turn 6. That's going to allow Gary Buckland to get right up on him. Another circuit we spoke about we could see next season, Daytona International Speedway. The road course could be back next season as well. There's many, many options, many choices of what we could see, what we haven't seen in a while. Time will tell of what we get from events management.
Someone wants Oran Park by 10.
Yeah, Oran Park times 10. I opted it out to the drivers in the general chat. I think it's a very good calendar choice. Variable weather, of course, as well. This battle for P2 continues with Peters and Chapman towards the dying embers of this race. Corfiadis and Bush battle away as well.
Yep. That's a nice little battle going there.
They've got Boardman chasing them down. And the dying embers of this race.
Gary Buckland's come onto the battle with himself and Favero. And also Corfiadis and Boardman, Horsell. Oh, sorry, no, it's looking at also Callaghan and Duddle and Weston. It's a little bit of a tight pack there as well. So a little bit spread out in the latter part of this race, but there's still some battling going on.
Well,
it's not over until
we know as well, because we will be somewhat assimilating with the Pro Series calendar as well, Brett. I know some of the Pro Series tracks that are coming up. Oh, well, you just look at the calendar, you know what track's coming. But Phillip Island, Sandown and Bathurst are all a part of that. for their Enduros. We have had Bathurst this season. So we maybe then not have Bathurst, and we maybe go for an Oran Park or a Winton. Is that the play? Like, I know Bathurst is a great circuit. We want to go there again. I think unless Bathurst though is a 300k race or a 250k race, it doesn't quite produce the magic that we may see from an Oran Park or a Winton for a longer form race. I'm not sure. There's definitely some tracks on there though that will definitely wet your whistle. But Phillip Island and Sandown, I think, would almost be a guarantee for next season, for season 28. And that would be spectacular if it can happen. We've had the bend 2 seasons in a row, Ron. We had the bend last season, Ron. I don't think we need the bend again next season. That'll be the season. The bend will be the season after, because that is coming up later in the year for the Pro Series. So you could expect the bend for season 29 coming up in the
Vero
future.
closing back in again and Buckland as well.
Oh, I like Luke's thinking here. Just quickly, Brett. Winton with heavy rain.
Oh, Winton heavy rain. Yeah, and it's quite possible with Winton too.
Yep, 250Ks, heavy rain at Winton. Sign me up. That'll be fantastic. Be great. Brett Fisher continuing to run strong here inside of the top 10. We've got Craig Miller inside of the top 5. Great run tonight, up 7 positions into P4. We've got quite a difficult choice to make on a Driver of the Day nomination. I think we've definitely got 2 locked in, Brett. Now, Bruce Tannock and Jamie Peters. I think they are probably the 2 easiest names we can put forward. I think then we've got to decide between Tony Chapman. Oh, no, we don't actually. Tony Chapman's already won Driver of the Day, so actually that makes it easier.
Yeah.
We could then look to Craig Miller or Andrew Galley, or both of them. Or we could look to maybe a Ron Allen or a Halil Cesar, who's had to do 3 stops tonight, and they've got themselves back into the top 10. So, do we look that way?
Good effort, but shouldn't have made the mistake in the first place.
They played a gamble.
No, that's fair enough.
Oh, Gary Buckland.
like
Gary Buckland has just gone round at the final corner.
He's had a night to forget.
Championship leader. Is the castle starting to crumble around him? With 2 rounds to go and 2 laps to go of this race when Bruce Tannock crosses the line. This is not the end of the night that he would have wanted. Oh, Ron's already had Driver of the Day. Thank you, Ron. Thank you for the reminder. That makes that one easier. So, yeah, do we go those 4 drivers in the top 5, Brett, or do we put a Cesar in there for the comeback up into the top 10 after a 3-stopper? A Blanchard, even a Brett Fisher maybe, who's up into the top 10.
Yeah, no, Brett doesn't really.
Okay.
No, I don't know. No, I think there's been some better battles out there than myself. I reckon maybe Chris Miller and Andrew Galley. I reckon do the top 5.
Okay.
The top 5 thing, unless anyone wants to suggest something in the chat. That would open up a can of worms.
We've not started the votes yet. Don't put your votes out there yet, please.
No, don't put your votes in yet. Won't be counted. So 66 laps of 67 laps. Tannock leading it by 22 seconds at the moment. It is his to lose. He cannot. The pressure's off.
The pressure is off.
Bugger it up from here. Peters, great race so far, but he's still under pressure from Chapman, which has been a great comeback drive after his start. So he'd be really happy with this.
People don't listen in the chat, Brett. They started filing in for votes. We're not.
It won't be counted.
No votes yet. They're not going to be counted yet. They are only counted after the official noms list goes into the chat. False started. You've got a drive-through penalty.
Corfita's dropping a couple of spots.
He's battling away
Getting
here.
a bit tight here.
Oh, he is indeed. Oh, Bourman very deep up there. Contact with Bush.
Oh!
Backstraps to take evasive action. Very, very deep. Wonder if there was something that happened before that, Brett. There maybe was a lead on to that as well. But there may be a post-race penalty coming for Boardman for that deep move there.
Yeah. Well, there's always a story.
Be quick, N24's about to start. Well, what a way to spend your Saturday, by the way. Watch the Split 2 action and then head over and watch the Nürburgring 24-hour. I mean, just fill your weekend.
Yeah, don't forget, we've got the Hype Up song later too. Don't go before then.
Yeah.
That's always good fun. And we've got the highlights. It's always fun.
That's right. We do indeed.
And we might talk to...
Well, to clarify for Leo Henning, if this wasn't a wet race, Bruce Tannick actually wouldn't be eligible for Driver of the Day if he wins this race, because we never give it to the race winner in a normal round, aside from assigning wild cards. So because it's a wet race, it's an automatic wild card, and it means that he becomes eligible. So if it wasn't wet, Bruce wouldn't be eligible unless we wild carded him in, and it would mean that it'd be Jamie, Craig, Andrew, and one other person that would be up for nomination.
But there's people out there that have got to, it's up to you once we put the names forward anyway.
Yeah, it's up to the chat. We just give you the names. It's up to you to pick between the 4 of them as we come up towards the final sector for Bruce Tannick. Dominance tonight. Great strategy. Worked out fantastic for him.
Bruce.
He picked it perfect as he flows through the final few corners. This has reignited the already fired up championship charge for Bruce Tannick in one of his cleanest seasons to date. 5 seasons in the making. He'll go into the final 2 rounds as a full-fledged championship contender. Final time across the line. Bruce Tannick survives the wet 300 Ks of Fuji Speedway as a race winner once again. Jamie Peters will come home up 26 positions, outperforming his average finishing this season by a spectacular margin. He'll cross the line in his first podium since he was returned to V8 Veterans in an unbelievable effort. P2 for Peters, and Chapman will come home in P3 in an unbelievable effort. Craig Miller, Andrew Galley inside of the top 5. Brett O'Brien in the top 6. Chris Blanchard, Hallel says a drag race to the line. Blanchard's just going to get him for P7.
Oh, just.
Ron Allen, and then Brett Fisher makes up the top 10.
Not yet.
As he drag races Nathan Favero. There is the Driver of the Day nominations list, so now we will accept votes. Bruce Tannick, Jamie Peters, Craig Miller, or Andrew Galley. Get your votes into the chat now.
Yeah, get your votes into the chat now, guys. Let's. So anyone putting their Driver of the Day nominations before that Hamish post, redo it, otherwise it will not be counted. What a race!
Yes,
that was quite entertaining. Like yeah. I mean, obviously Tannick really the light shined out pretty bright there for Tannick. But there was some fantastic racing. There was a lot of ups and downs. Like there was some, definitely heaps of action throughout this race. Like Duddle. Unfortunately he was going well, and unfortunately tyres let him down, so to speak. There was no pun intended there, or maybe some.
Well, what could have
Kokoschke had a shocker.
What could have been for the likes of Cesar or Ron Allen, who had to take 3 stoppers? Would they have been on the podium if they only had to take 2? That there is the other, really fired up question as well.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda, but didn't.
That's right.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, as they say.
It is indeed. This vote could be close, actually. This
Nice.
vote could be close, so this is going to be tight. We're going to give them until the end of Brett's favourite time of the week.
Let's go.
It's time for the post-race highlights for round
highlights
of the season. And well, Brett, we're going to start it out with probably the easiest highlight to show off the start. Green flag runner, it's Tony Chapman's run off the line. Pole position. Second time he started on pole this season, and he's just dropped the clutch a little bit too hard, and the thing's lit up on the rears.
Gonna have to practice.
By everybody. So that was probably the earliest moment for him to make a mistake in the race for sure. And you see the gaggle of cars trying to come through turn 1 and keep
Great
themselves
effort for
nice
everyone
and
to get through
tidy.
there cleanly. Yeah, that's awesome.
We saw
Good racing,
Derek.
boys.
We saw Derek Lovegrove off the circuit
Oh,
down here
who
as
was that
well.
on the inside? Was it?
That
Yeah.
was, there's bush down there, so this was Lovegrove going off. Just a little bit wide, not too bad for
Yep.
him.
Not too bad.
And then Gary Buckland as well, taking a bit of a trip off the track after fighting with Tannick through Dunlop corner. Gave him a little door. I
Oh,
think
there you
that's
go.
fair
Bit of a hip
play.
and shoulder.
I think that's fair play. That's a, you know, obviously Gary's lost some spots, but as well though, was he alongside him before turning? That's some pretty serious racing between them. This was the moment with Kokoschki and Clifton. Watch this. So hits Horsell, or hits the side of Horsell into the wall and bang, straight in the side of Clifton. A messy moment on lap 1. It has ended in 2 cars in absolute strife very early on in this race. We saw Ben Brook around as well on lap 2. So once again, earlier in the race, this was a fairly decent moment and quite significant on the championship. Compression locked it, round it went right in front of yourself, Brett.
Yeah,
Somehow you avoided
that
it.
was.
You did a great job. Absolutely
And
fantastic.
unfortunately, didn't get away scot-free.
Well, speaking of scot-free, here's Scott McCune, and this is what happened to him on lap 6 later on in the race. Just lost the rears, made contact with Horsell, and around that went. So actually, Horsell was just a sitting duck. He unfortunately had nowhere to go after that thing just snapped out on McCune. This was Chad Viger down at turn 1, so we didn't quite see this one. We know he was battling with Cesar, came into turn 1, went a little bit too deep, touched the rear, and round it went, and then Blanchard comes straight into the side of him. Nowhere to go. And then Viger's just waiting for a mate to be able to get back on circuit as best he can. And there he is, back on the road. This is Mike McQuain's moment with Stephen Kokoschki that we saw on the stream earlier on. He was battling with McCune. Kokoschki was off the road and then hits the rear of Quain. Round he goes. In an unfortunate moment for him. Then the rain starts. And we get into some spiciness as well. This was Scott McCune on his lonesome down at turn 1. Unfortunately for him, first stops came in, half the field, a majority of the field took wets. That was how he went off. Majority of the field took wets on the first stop. A couple of drivers took some dries, used them to their advantage, but had to lock into a 3-stop strategy across the race. It stayed pretty neat and tidy, actually, for a lot of this period. Didn't really get any major incidents.
Considering the rain and the extra, elements, was pretty good.
I didn't really see any major incidents until this spin for Chad Viger up at turn 14. That's how he went around. Jeremy Bush as well. This is down at turn 1. Tough moment for him, I'm sure. In a battle with Verben. You can see a bit of contact. Round they go. This was Chris Blanchard and Scott Weston, I believe they went off track, but I think this is just a wide berth at turn 1. It is just a wide berth at turn 1 for both of them.
Yeah, there's Weston in the background,
Kokoschki went through some wars as well, but he was okay. Just continued to power on, really. And then we stayed fairly neat and tidy throughout the rest of the rain period. And then Chad Viger just continued to stack for him. This was up at turn 6, and you got to watch behind him as well for his brother to come through. So Viger has a bit of a half spin, makes contact with Kokoschki, nearly gets cleaned up by Buckland. And then as he rejoins the circuit, watch for Rick in the background. There's Rick, avoids his brother, has to go off track, and rejoins right in front of him. So somehow they made that work and remained in the steady onslaught at that point as well. James Boardman had an off track late in the race on lap 51.
Just out in the marbles.
Yep, round she went. Luckily not to hit the wall. This was fairly significant for, at the beginning of significance for Roy Clark, just running it really deep, getting those tyres dirty off of turn 1 and bringing Gary Buckland back into it. And then 4 laps later, hold your breath, watch this moment for how close it is with Halil Cesar down at turn 13. So he runs wide catches the curb. Round it goes. How he didn't hit him, I've got no idea.
Oh, that could have been the end.
And I think we've got to give multiple angles of this, Brett, because this is truly the only way we're ever going to show how close this actually is to Cesar's race ending with Roy Clark's. That is so close.
That's as close as you get. That's as close as you get.
Unbelievable. And I promise you we're not going to run this one to the death of it. I never saw it from this angle, so I just want to see it now, to be honest with you. So at this point, he's run wide. At this point, he's lost the rears. Hello.
Oh, that was so
my
close.
God. Unbelievably close. And we then kept it relatively neat and tidy to the end.
As Gunther would say, schneis and tight.
Yes, schneis and tight. Then Gary Buckland had a moment at the final corner. And this is what dropped him out of the top 11 cars on the order. Unfortunately for him, up the inside and just hit the side of Nathan Favero. And around he goes. Jeremy Bush then had this moment as well. Now, there was more to this as I suspected, so...
Yeah, ball. Oh, right.
Yeah. So there's actually a lot in this. So, Corfidis just sends it up the inside of Bush, doors him. They both get really wide. Boardman tries to come through.
Oh, Bush has done well.
So he somehow caught it, and then Boardman, I think, is a bit flustered. And as they come into the next corner, this is the brake marker, and just contact's made. So that's where all that has come from.
Oh, and Baxter running wide there as well. Yeah, that was an unfortunate sequence of events.
Indeed it was. But what we do know is we've got some drivers to chat to post-race. They've been in the waiting room all night.
Oh, really?
Sat in there
Keen as
the
mustard.
whole race for Jamie Peters and for Tony Chapman. So fair play to them. We've got to do the quick count on the driver of the day. So let us just quickly do this. So 1, 2, 3.
Would you like some think music?
Yes, please.
No, wrong music.
By one vote, one solitary vote.
Oh.
It was a close one. It was a close one, as we said. The driver of the day, before we get into our post-race interviews, the driver of the day for round 8 of the V8 Veterans Season 27 for Split 2 is Bruce Tannick, our race winner.
Bruce.
Congratulations to Bruce. Well done. 20-odd seconds in the end was the margin of victory. Fair play, though, to Jamie Peters, who got second in that vote. An unbelievable effort in that race to take home such a victory in terms of how many positions he gained, but a race victory for Tannick in an unbelievable racer himself. Either of them could have won. Hats off to Craig Miller and to Andrew Galley for their incredible races as well. But yeah, fantastic. Unbelievable. We'll quickly look at the post-race results before we get our drivers in for their chats with us. It was Bruce Tannick finishing P1 on the road to Jamie Peters and Tony Chapman for the top 3. Jamie Peters up most positions tonight, up 26. Bruce Tannick led the most laps of 58. He also had the fastest lap of the race of 139.486. Chapman, our pole sitter, didn't remain there in the end. It was Miller, Galley, O'Brien, Blanchard, Cesar, Allen, and Fisher, the top 10 at the end of the race. As we then look for Nathan Favero, Roy Clark, Clifton, Buckland, Taylor, Callahan, Weston, Duddle, Viger, and Hoffman, the top 20 in the end. And then back to Horsell, Corfidis, Baxter, Boardman, Viger, McCune, Brook, Bush, Verben, and listen up, the top 30 and the final positions in the order: Kokoschke to Quain, Duggan, and Lovegrove at the back end of the field as well. Do our podium finishers here tonight, and the first of which they are not the podium finishers. Why is it showing me the wrong cars on the podium? I have no idea. Thanks for that. Not going to work. Okay, fair enough. We'll chat
Well
to
done.
them.
No,
We'll
well,
chat
you'll
to
be
them
right.
this way. So
There
we'll
we go.
chat to
That's all right.
P3 on the road first in Tony Chapman. We'll drag him in for a very, very quick chat. Tony, welcome in. Congratulations. P3 on the road off of pole position. You haven't had the greatest race starts from pole position this season, but you've managed to make it work out for you tonight with our P3 on the road and a podium to your name. Congratulations. How does it feel to get that one done?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Probably if I practice as many starts as I did laps, I'll be probably start all right, to be fair.
Well, started first, you finished third, points on the board. You guys are starting to build a little bit of momentum, but you've struggled for consistency across the season as a team. Is that something you guys are going to work on leading into season 28 for you guys hoping to remain in Split 2?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll be trying hard to get up there further in the championship.
Now, Tony, who would have thought after your last season here in Split 2, quite a few seasons ago, to now, the sort of rise and gain that you would have had? You struggled last time you were in Split 2, went down to Split 3, joined the team, gotten your pace and consistency up, and now you're a podium finisher and a 2-time pole sitter. I mean, that's how quickly it can happen in less than, I think, 50 races. You had less than 50 races. Like, it's unbelievable the sort of rise up the rankings you've had, and I think you should feel very proud of that, especially if you self-reflect on where you came from to where you are now. This is a fantastic run for yourself and a fantastic result as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty stoked with it, to be fair.
Well, Tony, we appreciate your time. We won't hold you up for too much longer, but is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go this evening, whether it's team sponsors or teammates or anyone who may be watching? The floor is yours, and a big congratulations to you on the P3 finish here at Fuji after 300 Ks.
Yeah, Nathan and Craig, they were in the Discord, still supporting me quite well to keep my head and not doing anything silly. And Stephen Kokoschke for bump drafting me for 3 laps down the straight.
Well, thank you so much, Tony. We appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck next week out at the Nürburgring. We hope that you can survive the green hell for 8 laps and 200 Ks, and we see where you end up when we're finished racing there before the final round at Adelaide. And if we don't get a chance to speak to you, we wish you the best of luck in the final round at Adelaide in a few weeks' time as well.
Cheers, fellas.
Thanks so much.
Well done, Tony.
Next up, and this is quite a heartwarming one for me, Brett. Formerly of my team, Infinity Motorsport, left the team, went to go do his own thing as the lone wolf, and now it's paid off in a podium position for him, up 26 spots tonight. P2 on the road, Jamie Peters. Mr. Peters, it has been a long time since you've been on this podium. Congratulations. What a drive for you, sir. You were so excited to come and chat to us. You've been in the waiting room all night. I mean, what a drive for you. Well done.
Oh, mate, Hamish, you know what I'm like with all these technical things. I thought I'd get in early just in case I had to learn something. Yeah, no, it's good to get a result, to be honest. Yeah, you fight so hard and you want to get in. You're sort of doing this to try and get up for a good result. And yeah, it's good conditions allowed me to sort of, find my time, I guess.
It's good to see this season as well. The tech demons appear to have flown away from your time away from the vets as well, which is great to see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a little bit of an update on a few things with equipment, a little bit of internet as well. And yeah, you can concentrate on just racing. I know you sort of emphasise its bonuses of being part of a team, but there's a time and a place for it, and love being part of your team. And it's good that I can do it on my own too, even though it's a lot harder as well.
Well, it's an uphill battle to climb, probably as tall as Mount Fuji, but you managed to climb it here tonight at Fuji Speedway. So a big congratulations to you for the P2 finish and a return to Split 2 this season as well. The fact you were able to return here on pre-qualifying pace and you managed to perform at some points of the season as well, topped off with this podium. We want to see more from you now across the next 2 weeks. Hopefully another podium for yourself. That'd be fantastic. And lead into season 28, see where you can go from there. But a massive congratulations to you, Jamie. You've earned this as the lone wolf, all on your own. Congratulations. I hope it's a proud one for you. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, thanks, Hamish. Obviously to yourself and Brett, great broadcast. Brett's really stepped up to it, entertaining it. I love it when he has his little laugh to himself and all that sort of thing. But yeah, nothing to thank as far as on my own front. It's more what you guys do and race control and even the guys I'm racing. Split twos, it's a good fair bunch, and I've sort of found everyone's fair and hard. So yeah, thanks to everybody. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate your time, Jamie. We wish you the best of luck in the final 2 rounds out at the Nürburgring and at Adelaide as well. And we hope we can see you get yourself another top 10, even a top 5, hell, even maybe a podium before the season's out. You never know what could happen. And we wish you the best of luck in those attempts.
Thanks, boys. And congrats to Bruce.
Yeah, it was a close one. If it wasn't a wet race and if it was a dry race and we hadn't wild carded him in as a driver of the day, you would have won that. So take that with pride that it took a wet race for the race winner to win it over a performance like that for yourself. So that for me would be a driver of the day worthy performance in its own right. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks
Cheers.
So much. Well, Brett, what a race it was, and what a couple of weeks we've got coming up. I mean, final
Don't
2
go anywhere.
rounds, we've sold it to its absolute death. The final 2 races of the season. 200Ks next week at the Nürburgring Nordschleife, the full 24-hour circuit the week after the weekend of the Nürburgring 24-hour, which starts fairly shortly if it's not already started now. 8 laps there, 200Ks. It's going to be tough. It's going to be brutal. And it's going to be one that'll throw spanners in the works in terms of the championship standings before we head out to Adelaide Street Circuit for the final round of the season. 250 kilometres and 78 laps. And you guys can join us next week when we are out at the Nürburgring for the penultimate round. It's going to be exciting. You don't want to miss it. 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Saturday night, May 23rd. There's 2 to go before the end of May. You don't want to miss either of them. So be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon as well to both the V8 Veterans and Infinity Broadcasting YouTube channels so you're notified whenever we go racing upon them. Veterans, of course, for the V8 Veterans channel, you can find Split 2, Split 3 and Split 4 replay broadcasts with thanks to AJR Broadcasting and WKMP TV for Split 3 and Split 4 as well. Go support SimSpeed TV for the live Split 1 action. Thursday nights, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. We can catch Split 1 live as they race. No replays over there. And as well, if you want to catch us on Infinity Broadcasting, well, we've got coming up Monday morning, 9:50 a.m., returning round 4 for Season 2, Highside Motorsports for the Pennsylvania 150 out at Pocono Raceway. And starting for the next season of Premier Endurance League, I will be producing the final 2 rounds of this current season at Le Mans tomorrow night at 7:50 p.m. and then next month in June at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps as well. Next season, it'll be simulcast across both Premier Endurance League and Infinity Broadcasting as well. So you guys can catch Premier Endurance League over at Infinity Broadcasting too as well. From all of us here at V8 Veterans, we want to give a thank you to the series sponsors: Racekraft Simulations, Logitech G, Parramatta Isuzu, Player One Sim Gear, Nova Sim Sports, Project Fade, Streetwear, LGC Images, and M1 Used Cars for the Driver of the Day award. Tonight, it went the way of Bruce Tannick. Next week, it could go to you when we go racing for 200Ks around the Green Hell. But until then, we appreciate your time, appreciate your efforts being here with us once again. Stick around for the Hype Up song. And until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
Hey, Hamish. What time is it?
It's time for the hype up song, Brett.
One drum, one drum, one echo. Fuji awakens! Bullet at dawn, cutting through the pack before turn one. Joel spun out when Queen clipped the line. Turn 12 cracked open like a fault in time. Chapman tried the inside, but the grip said no. Galley tangled with Western in the undertow. Chaos rising, engine scream. Coda turn wild like a fever dream. Fender shaking, hearts on fire. Every corner, feet in the pyre. Tight pack battles, heartbeat race. Then Tannock kissed the pit wall's face. Coda's chaos burns in the rear view glow, but Fuji calls louder than the winds can blow. Ikuzo. Let the mountain decide. Send it down the strait of destiny. Taiko thunder shift the energy. Engines roar in perfect harmony. This is where the brave rise. This is where the weak bleed. Send it, send it, send it into the speed. Rises from last week's fall. 10 points back, now he's hunting it all. Bachland leads, but the pressure is real. Fuji's one straight shows every reveal. Brock and Tannock locked in a tie. Bigger stalking close with the hunter's eye. Ron Allen climbing like a ghost through the night. Dodo spawns the top 10 with a samurai fight. Horse still fighting hard in the midfield roar. Every lap carving legends in the lore. Fuji waits silent, ancient and wide, watching the warriors collide. Storm clouds gather as the engines glow. Fuji whispers truths only racers know. Haikuzo. Let the mountain decide. Send it down the strait of destiny. Taiko thunder shift the energy. Engines roar in perfect harmony. This is where the brave rise. This is where the weak bleed. Send it, send it, send it into the speed. Hey! Winds cut through the cold. Stories of warriors quietly told. Rain on the visor, nerves held tight. Fuji stands waiting in the fading light. Every heartbeat louder than before. Every driver knowing what's in store. Ikuzo, Ikuzo. The battle unfolds. Of destiny, neon lightning cracks the scenery. From Koda's chaos to Fuji's decree, the warriors return. The engines agree. Send it, send it, send it into the speed. The mountain listens and remembers all. One drum, one echo. Fuji has spoken.
Engine thunder from down under. Listen The racing series is a new milestone in Logitech G.
All the great old wheels, the G29, the G920, the G923, they all have their own unique way of connecting to each other, but there's no room for expansion with those products.
So the question arose was, what if we were to give the opportunity for the racer to switch out from a drifting wheel to a GT rim?
With the wheel hubs that we've created, that's got a very specific button set, but you can replace any of the steering wheels.
And the real lovely aspect to this was we could give the user, driver and the racer the opportunity to experience different genres of race.
That allows drivers to craft high quality, customized setups that resonate with your individual racing style.
When we start with the design, we always start sketching. Very often, once we've got sketches, we start discussing with engineering.
We had 3 rounds of engineering testing or user testing where we invited in users from sim racing, and every single round of feedback we refine, the product based on what they tell us.
In this sim racing lab, again, we're going to use data to really analyze what a driver needs. We've used everything from eye tracking to the inputs from the pedals, the inputs from the, let's say, input devices, the wheel and the pedals, the shifter. We're taking that and we're compiling it so that we can build different products based on those individuals' needs for all consumers and all drivers.
I don't know of anyone else in the industry that's actually doing this kind of research into their products to see how their products are affecting performance of their users.
We've built the product to make sure that it's as reliable as possible.
So the innovations in engineering that I'd say we're most proud of is the sequential handbrake and shifter toolless changeover. This is now a patented system, so it's really easy for the user to just switch between modes.
If you give people the tools to do what they want, they will.
They will just go off and have fun.
Introducing the Rackraft PT1, custom-built full chassis racing simulator. The design project, codenamed the Cage, an 80/40 extrusion chassis sitting on top of a Sigma Integrale DK2 Plus 4-point full motion actuator system. No compromises in the cockpit of the PT1 simulator. To maximize the experience, we start with the 49-inch ultra-wide monitor for the greatest field of view in a small footprint of the simulator, down to the SimuCube wheelbase that's tucked up and behind the monitors with SimCore extensions to get things out of the driving area. Everything is connected to a Cube Controls GTX steering wheel with the built-in dash and all the extra button functions available at your fingertips. Driving through the Raceworks S1 pedals, the potentiometer throttle and the 2 hydraulic pedals for brake and clutch ensures you maximize the feel underfoot, and seating yourself into an OMP HTER bucket racing seat with OMP belts connected to a G-belt tensioner to provide that extra feeling and the heightened experience while you're driving. Additional interfaces and accessories in the PT1, we have twin butt kickers, one on either side of the OMP seat, as well as a Jinx sequential shifter, the SimPush Race Logic timer to the left-hand side, a Racecraft built-in WinSim kit with Philips Hue lighting and a built-in soundbar, plus the OMP side net to finish off the experience in the PT1. The Racecraft PT1, build number 1, the ultimate in sim racing experience, combining the best products in the market with the passionate, no compromise approach that goes beyond racing simulation.